Hold tight. Take it.
It's the Joe Nuxhall Classic here on Chatterbox Sports. Good evening, everybody. We welcome you in. We just saw the Xavier Musketeers take care of business against Miami of Ohio, and they'll now take on the winner of our next matchup here, Game 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic, the Wright State Raiders getting set to take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. Justin Kinner, Christian Pagan, and Keegan Nickerson with you here as we get you set for Wright State and Cincinnati. Pretty excited about this matchup. Again, it's a little breezy tonight, but it's beautiful weather, and we're pretty excited for this matchup. A very good Game 1, and we're anticipating another very good one here tonight. I know you're going to be on the call again for Game 2 coming up, but Wright State, Cincinnati, we got a good one coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Cincinnati's won 7 of their last 8, just coming off a big series win at Texas Tech, including Kellen O'Connor, I think, throwing the first complete game since 2022 for UC. UC's looking to do some damage, trying to get into the NCAA tournament, which they narrowly missed last year. And they have this motto of 10 games. Win 10 games you're not supposed to, and then they can really build on that these next 2 days. Absolutely.
Again, we got Christian Pagan with us, as well as we'll be highlighting Cincinnati and Wright State just moments away from getting to Game 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Again, you look at Cincinnati, you look at where they're at this point of the season. You know, you take a little break from your conference schedule, and you have 4 really good teams out of the state of Ohio that make up the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Obviously, they got their hands full with Wright State. These 2 teams haven't played in a few years. The last time they played was actually right here in the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Wright State came out on top there. Cincy needs a win today. They need to find a way to keep accumulating wins, as you just heard from Keegan a little bit ago. What does Cincinnati have to do to come out on top tonight?
Well, it starts with Bishop Ball. Cincinnati is one of the best stealing basing teams in the country. They have 70 on the year, which is actually 5th amongst Power 4 teams, and Landon Vitterick has 20 steals. I mean, Cincinnati really has to rely on Bishop Ball. They're going to bunt. They're going to steal bases. They're going to play some small ball. They're going to make it really tough on the pitcher.
Absolutely. Again, you talk about that small ball. Again, their ability, obviously, hit the ball to the ballpark. They have a lot of very good individual players as well. But that small ball mentality, too, to actually lean into that and to be such a great small ball team as a team, but also have a couple individual players that also really kind of help orchestrate that.
Yeah, and two of the biggest ones are Carrington Cross. He's hitting .431, 7 home runs. He has a 1.279 OPS, and I think that's tied for like 13th in the country, something like that. Very, very high average hitter. And then Landon Vitterick, he's a local kid from Baden High School in Hamilton. He's a very, very toolsy player, and he's really a draft prospect, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was taken eventually. Outfielder, very fast, like Christian said, 20 steals, which is up there in the top 20 of the country. So they do play the small ball, but as you've seen, they have a lot of power hitters too that can take it out of the yard very quickly.
Wright State out of the Horizon League right now, coming off of a series win against Northern Kentucky, trying to bottle up some of that momentum to take care of business against an opponent out of the Big 12. Wright State, again, one of the best small conference schools, not just in the state but in the country. I mean, constantly, you see them go up against bigger schools like this and hold their own. Of course, we talked about it. They actually hold the all-time series lead against Cincinnati. They got a win over the Bearcats the last time these 2 teams played. It's always a fun matchup when you get these interstate matchups when you have 2 teams so close in proximity. It's always a fun matchup.
Wright State is full of Ohio guys.
Yes.
And I looked at Miami's roster. They had 10, which is a good amount. But you look down Wright State's roster, and it's just full of guys from Ohio, full of guys from this area, and it's just a testament to the amount of talented baseball, high school level. You could be 10 years old playing summer ball. They really care about the sport in this city, and you can see it in the production in college.
Absolutely. Boston Smith, again, you talked about so many players, from Ohio, but Boston Smith, a player you're going to see tonight for Wright State, actually transferred from UC. So a little connection between those 2 right there.
Yeah, left after 2022. I believe he played under Guggens. Just a really, really good player. And anytime you can have those veterans with the Power 5 or the Group of 5 experience, as he had at Cincinnati, as we're switching those around constantly these days, that's valuable. And for Wright State, that's going to pay dividends.
Obviously, you want to come out, with wins here, obviously, but you handle some of these midweek games a little bit differently with how you handle your pitching staff. What are some of the names we can keep an ear and eye out for, here, or at least some of the pitching, when it comes to UC at this point?
Well, definitely the bullpen I look at. It's going to be Carson March, definitely one of those guys you got to keep an eye on for. How about Brendan Shire, too? Another one of those transfers that Cincinnati added, and what was an amazing, or rather a pretty good class Cincinnati had. So another person, Hudson Johnson, as well. Cincinnati's bullpen, it's been revamped. So I think this bullpen's going to be really fresh, and you might see a lot of those guys come out today.
Cincinnati, too, is in an interesting spot. We were talking before we got going here. We talked so much about basketball and football and the transition for UC into the Big 12. How about baseball? How was that transition, Keegan, been for the Bearcats if they transitioned into the Big 12? Obviously having a very, very good season, a very good team. But how has that transition been into the bigger conference from a recruiting standpoint and even also just from the way that they've competed in the bigger conference as well?
Yeah, they exceeded expectations last year. And when you look at those three sports, baseball's probably been the most successful in the past 2 seasons. Jordan Bishop comes in year 1, and he's kind of touting this thing of we're going to play fast, we're going to play small ball, we're going to bunt. And a lot of people didn't really buy into it, but then they just start beating really good teams. They had a game against UConn get called in like the 2nd inning, and a win there could have actually pushed them into the tournament. So they were very close. And now this year they have a ton of momentum, and everyone is really, really high on Jordan Bishop. There's kind of a joke going on of, if they keep on winning, the SEC is just going to poach them. So it's always good to have coaches that are winning and succeeding, and Jordan Bishop is a very, very fun one. I love the brand of baseball he plays.
Absolutely, and again, you talk about coaching from that in that regards. In the last game when we were talking about Xavier, and we talked about their coach coming away with his 200th win. Alex Sogard just recently came away with his 200th career win as well. Coaching across the board, whether it's Wright State, whether it's Cincinnati, Xavier, Miami of Ohio, it's been one of the more impressive things throughout these couple of days, and the teams that make up the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Coaching top notch, no doubt.
Absolutely, sustained success as a coach in this era of college sports is so rare because there's so much pressure. There's so much pressure to win now. So having that sustained success is very impressive.
So one thing we do know is that the winner of this Cincinnati-Wright State matchup will go on to the Joe Nuxhall Championship matchup tomorrow night, where they will take on Xavier. Xavier just took care of business. They had their hands full with Miami of Ohio earlier today. You look at the fact that Miami of Ohio jumped out on them early, a 4-0 lead right off the bat. Xavier, we talked about, of course, how they loaded up their schedule, and they have a lot of key guys out, but they've been able to battle through adversity all season. Right off the bat, down 4-0. They battle back. They tie it, they get it tied back up at 4 within just a few innings or whatever. But man, they had their backs against the wall early. A very good matchup between those two teams. A 6-4 final, Xavier over Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, and it was the 2 relief pitchers coming in and throwing multiple innings, which you don't see often in midweek games. A lot of coaches, they like to bring guys in, give you an inning, maybe 2 if you're really dealing. But these 2 relievers came in and they shoved them. They didn't give up a run after the first inning when they were pitching, and had some impressive strikeouts. The infield pop-up really hurt Miami in that first game, especially the second one. Fell in the infield. Xavier executes a perfect hit and run, and they score to get a little cushion, and then ultimately the Musketeers come out on top 6-4, possibly setting the stage for a crosstown shootout baseball style if Cincinnati can come out on top of Wright State today.
No, you brought it up. You usually don't see that with how they handle the bullpen with in a midweek game, but some of that has to do with, look, these guys are always competitive no matter who they're playing. But you do handle midweek games a little bit differently, but you also handle in-state games a little differently as well. You could tell just by the way that was handled that there is definitely a little bit of that extra competitive drive in these matchups. These teams want those bragging rights. They want to come out on top. They want to win the Joe Nuxhall Classic. We saw a little bit of that in that last matchup, of course. And, you talk about that. These, teams, they're all from the state of Ohio. They want those bragging rights. Of course, every team wants to come away with the win, but you wanted a little extra more in a setting like this.
Of course, you talked about it. It's the proximity. These teams are very close to each other, and they want those bragging rights for the entire year or maybe however long it is. They want to win this game, and it's going to be that extra motivation for these teams and what's going to push them over the hump and what could be potentially a close game. That drive, that's going to push them over.
Absolutely. Again, Wright State, Cincinnati. We're just moments away from the start of that one here, Game 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. The winner goes on to face Xavier tomorrow night. As we talked about, we spent some time on this in the first game during the pregame, just kind of highlighting the setting. Prasco Park, again, is my first time out here, and just a beautiful ballpark, just an unbelievable setting for this. There's so many people here, so many fans for both sides. This is one of the most unique spots to take in a college baseball game, no doubt.
Absolutely, and natural playing surfaces, especially kept up like this one, has a full staff devoted to it. It's awesome. I got here this morning. There was barely anyone on the field, blue sky in the background. It was perfect. It made me look forward to the rest of the day. and then just giving to the community, the free concessions, free Skyline. I lined up to get Skyline and then very quickly realized I didn't have enough time. It was going to be 30 minutes. Very faith-based, which is very awesome. And it's just an awesome setting, and you see how many people want to come out here, and then they come out here and they say, oh, there's a good baseball game on, I'll watch that baseball game too, and enjoy the free food, obviously.
And then obviously the Joe Nuxhall Classic, honoring a legend like Joe Nuxhall as well. Whether from his playing days, the youngest Major League Baseball player of all time, and you go, to his playing days, and of course, for a lot of us, remember him for the legendary broadcasting career that he had, calling games alongside the Hall of Famer Marty Brennaman. So, Joe Nuxhall, just an unbelievable person, player, broadcaster, and it's really cool, being able to be a part of an event like this, highlighting such a great baseball player in person.
Absolutely. Some people play in the MLB at 14. Some people play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 like I did. So I wasn't quite doing what Joe Nuxhall was doing, but he's just such a great ambassador. I never really got to watch the games or listen to the games that he called, but everything I heard from my mom and my dad and people around the community about him is that he was just such a great dude, and he was very, very good at what he did.
All right, so Wright State, Cincinnati, about to go head-to-head. We'll kind of turn our focus back towards that matchup. We talked about the significance of this. The Wright State leads the all-time series 47-40 with one tie in there as well. Wright State came out on top the last time these two teams played back in 2023. But as far as the past is the past, history is history, but tonight is tonight. What are you anticipating? You're going to be on the call, Keegan, for this matchup. What are you anticipating for what we're about to witness here tonight?
I think it's kind of what Christian said. I think Wright State's going to have a lot of aggressiveness, and I think they're going to want to come out on top. Miami wants to beat a team like Xavier because they're known as the smaller athletic school. Yep. Wright State wants to do the same to Cincinnati because everyone knows how much momentum Cincinnati has, how good they're supposed to be. They won 7 of 8. They beat Louisville a few weeks ago. So a win here for Wright State could mean so much for their momentum and kind of catapult them in the Horizon League.
And you mentioned it a little bit ago, a win for Cincinnati tonight would put them in the Joe Nuxhall championship game tomorrow, where they're, they take on a team that it's a slight rival, not the biggest rival in the world, but a slight rival. But a win tonight for Cincinnati sets up a big rivalry showdown in the Joe Nuxhall championship tomorrow, potentially.
It definitely is. And for Cincinnati, Keegan mentioned, this team, they're on a roll right now. Mm-hmm. They're averaging around 7 runs per game over the last 10 games. I think those bats are going to stay hot. And we talked about the proximity, too. These teams know each other, and there's going to be a lot of extra momentum, a lot of extra fuel in this game. And for Cincinnati, I just think the bats, they're going to remain hot, and they have to be there if they want to advance and play Xavier in the final tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. One thing you brought up, the fact, too, if you're Wright State or you're, Miami of Ohio, you see Xavier, you see Cincinnati, bigger schools. But because of the fact you look at, Cincinnati who's transitioned into the Big 12, that target gets even bigger.
Yeah.
Right? Because now a win over Cincinnati is not just a win over a bigger school, an in-state, opponent. That's a Power 4, Group of 4, whatever you want to call it, win at that point. A big opportunity. And by the way, it's a big deal for a program like Wright State, yes, but it's not something that they're a stranger to. Wright State has made a history, especially over the last stretch of coaches that they've had.
Yep.
They don't fear bigger programs. You look at the teams that they play in the non-conference. You look at the way that they've held their own against the Ohio States of the world and some of the other bigger programs. They don't fear bigger programs. In fact, they elevate their play. They rise to the occasion, and that is going to be something that we see here tonight.
Yeah, they've got a winning pedigree. I went to Indiana. Jeff Mercer's at Indiana now. They took him from Wright State. Sean Murphy, catcher at Wright State, now plays for the Braves, I believe. Making hundreds of millions of dollars. So they know what winning baseball looks like. They're not really a tiny school by any means. A lot of people in this area, a lot of good baseball players going through high school, they seriously look at Wright State as a school they want to play for. And there's a big talent pool to pick from. So they've got a lot of talented players. Now, Sammy Sass isn't here this year to hit 4 home runs like he did last year and extend the game like 3.5 hours longer than it was supposed to be. But they have a lot of talented players, and it should be a fun one.
I don't think people really understand just how frustrating a 22-21 final was. You know how many times that has been mentioned to me today? As long as we don't have that 22-21 game like we did last year. Like that, there was so many people that were held here for a long time because of that game. So, nonetheless, do we anticipate a 22-21 type of game here tonight?
I don't think so. I think Adam Rakic is going to have a good game. I think he's going to throw 4, maybe 5 innings. Powerful lefty, a Central Michigan transfer. Was thought to be a draft prospect a couple years ago. Had an injury, and then Jordan Bishop was finally able to coax him to to follow him from Central Michigan. So I think he's going to throw a good one. I think it'll probably be low scoring.
With that being said, do you have the lineup? Have they put that
I do
up?
have the lineup.
They have that up. What is that looking like right now as we sit here just moments away from the start of this one?
So for Wright State, it's going to be Hunter Warren, Boston Smith, Gus Gregory, J.P. Peltier, Patrick Foltz, Cam Gilkerson, Nate Manley, Braylon Bloomquist, and Will Cook. And then starting pitcher Grant Stratton, who has an 8.44 ERA, making his first start of the year. For Cincinnati, it's going to be Carrington Cross, Loudon Brooks, Landon Viderick, Jack Nantilli, Christian Mitchell, Cal Sefcik, Tommy O'Connor, Charlie Niehaus, Donovan Ford, and then, as I mentioned, Adam Marakic, making his 6th start of the year, so no stranger to the moment.
You know, the thing that's interesting, too, when you go to pitchers who normally don't get as many of these opportunities throughout the season, it could be viewed as an opportunity for both offenses, to erupt, but also an opportunity for younger, inexperienced pitchers, too, to get opportunities like this. I mean, as the night goes on and the lights come on, you're playing in this beautiful environment, the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Big opportunity for some of these younger pitchers, too, to get some opportunities that they normally don't get throughout the season.
Yeah, if you want to be a weekend starter at some point, you've got to shove in the midweek games. So that's what everybody wants to do, and I think that'll be the attitude today.
All right, as we wrap this up, just your closing thoughts on this matchup. Wright State, Cincinnati, the winner goes on to face Xavier tomorrow night in the Joe Nuxhall Classic Championship.
Well, I think we're going to have ourselves a great game today. I definitely do. And Keegan's going to be on the call, so have a good call. But I think we're going to have a great game in front of a great community and a great crowd here.
Same thing for you. How do you feel? How do you think this is going to unfold here tonight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I wouldn't mind to see a few home runs.
It's not that 22-21.
Especially Carrington Cross has a lot of fun with it. He's one of my favorite baseball players to watch play. Not only does he play the game the right way, but he's very, very aggressive.
So after the last game between Miami of Ohio and Xavier, we did get a chance to catch up with Clay Burdett, who is in the running to potentially come away with the player, of the tournament, who gets to come away with this nice little championship. By the way, it's heavy. I'm either weak or this thing's really heavy. I'm not sure, but this is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't want to
top
get hit
notch.
with that.
Solid. That's top notch. Solid. But good stuff. All right, everybody, we thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us here in the pregame. Again, it's the Joe Nuxhall Classic. We saw Xavier come away victorious 6-4 over Miami of Ohio earlier today. And now they get to sit back and await the winner between the Wright State Raiders and the Cincinnati Bearcats, Game 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. And that's what we have coming up next right here on Chatterbox Sports.
Chatterbox Sports coverage of the Joe Nuxhall Classic rolls on. Game 2 coming your way here from beautiful Prasco Park. Mike Schmaltz alongside Keegan Nickerson. The Cincinnati Bearcats facing off against the Wright State Raiders. Cincinnati comes in having won 8 of 12, and they picked up a series victory on the road at Texas Tech in the Big 12. Wright State has won 5 of its last 7. They come off a series victory over in Northern Kentucky.
Absolutely. Cincinnati coming off a series win over Texas Tech, in which starter Kellen O'Connor, through the first complete game since I think 2022 or 2021, 7 of 8 for Cincinnati, and including a win over Louisville, a ranked Louisville team at the time. So they're looking to keep rolling.
And for this Wright State team, a contender in the Horizon League, so a little bit of pressure here for both sides. This is a midweek game, but as I said before, not your regular midweek game because there's some RPI perhaps implications for both of these teams here.
Absolutely.
In this event.
If I'm Wright State, I'm wanting this one bad. It does a lot RPI-wise. It does a lot pride-wise. It also just does a lot to beat a team that a lot of people don't think you're supposed to beat. So that builds confidence, and it can kind of catapult you through Horizon play.
Wright State comes in hitting .281 as a team, and they will line up against Adam Marakic, the starter here for Cincinnati. Marakic comes in with a first pitch ball, and we are underway.
Marakic, a Central Michigan transfer. Jordan Bishel tried to get him to come along in year 1, but was able to get him here for year 2. Very, very projectable former MLB prospect, and it's looking like he's going to be an MLB prospect again.
The leadoff hitter is Hunter Warren, .381. He's the second baseman for Wright State. As Marakic misses outside. Hunter Warren will be followed by the catcher, Boston Smith, and the center fielder, Gus Gregory. J.P. Peltier, the big slugger in this lineup. The left fielder is 4th as Marakic comes in low. Cam Gilkerson, the right fielder, will hit 6th. Nate Manley, the designated hitter, tonight in a 7-hole for Wright State. Braden Bloomquist, the shortstop, in 8th. Will Cook, the first baseman, hits 9th, and 10th is Grant Stratton, the pitcher. Ball is popped up on the infield, and Hunter Warren retired for the first out of the Wright State first. So here comes Boston Smith. Smith, the catcher, .316 for this campaign. 30 hits in 95 at-bats. He struck out 29 times and walked 28.
Cincinnati transfer after the 2022 season, went to Wright State, played under Scott Guggens at Cincinnati.
Marakic comes into the start 0-2. He's pitched 24 innings, 34 hits, 19 runs. They're all earned, 13 walks against 23 strikeouts, 4 doubles. He's given up 6 home runs. So Marakic's a tough customer, and some interesting conditions here is the mound is in the sunlight here at beautiful Prasco Park. And Marakic comes up with the first strikeout of this ball game for out number 2 of the first. So again, the mound in the sun, home plate completely in shadow. We saw that in game 1, which is a Xavier Musketeer victory.
Very much a advantage for the pitcher in that situation. Very hard for the hitter to kind of, already a very fast moving object that you have to react to, and now you have the distraction of the changing light as well.
Marakic, the lefty, comes in and misses for a ball. It's 1-0. Home plate umpire is Marvin King at first. It's David Blanchett. The second base umpire is Ben Levin, and the third base umpire is Lyle Travis. Keegan, this is one of the first time I've seen 4 umpires in a collegiate game midweek even.
It's the Joe
This has
Nuxhall
got to be
Classic.
some kind of record, and Joe Nuxhall deserves it. No question about that. Marakic hits Gregory, and he'll reach for the first base runner for the Raiders.
Yeah, not the best time to do that. I don't know if there's ever a good time to do that, but 2 outs in the inning, cruising, it just sets you back a little bit. But Mrakic can bounce back. This next batter get a quick out and be A-okay.
Sets the table here for J.P. Peltier, 339 for the season, 37 hits. He's driven in 31. He has 10 home runs. And Mrakic comes in on the outside portion of the plate. Ball. 1-0. Mrakic was checked to first. Swing and a miss here for Peltier. It's 0-2. 1-1, excuse me. Peltier hitting .351 with 2 outs so far this season. Mrakic misses outside. 2-1. Wind is blowing out to center field, a little bit towards right center from the left field line. And the sun setting on that third base side. Peltier off the glove of Mrakic. Going to be picked up by Landon Brooks, and Brooks makes the put out over to Tommy O'Connor to end the inning. So Wright State gets a runner, leaves them on base, and they go scoreless after a half inning. Cincinnati coming to bat in the Joe Nuxhall Classic Game 2 after this. Back at the Joe Nuxhall Classic Game 2, Mike Schmaltz, all gas, no brakes, Keegan Nickerson with us here this afternoon into the evening. Xavier Musketeers took a victory in the first over the Miami RedHawks. Great game, and we expect a really solid game here in the second one. Grant Stratton, the starter for Wright State tonight, an 8.44 ERA. Doesn't have a record. He's gone 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned, walked 5, struck out 5. Couple of doubles and a home run given up for Grant Stratton. Stratton going to take on a Cincinnati Bearcat lineup that hits .282. And Keegan, we're going to be treated here to a taste of Bishop ball.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of small ball, a lot of stolen bases, a lot of bunts. I still remember, I think I went and watched them play against Louisville, I think it was. Or no, it was their first series against Duke. I think the first run of the season that they scored was off a bunt for hit. Which was just perfect and very poetic for a Jordan Bishop-led team. But this kid, up to the plate now, he'll do some small ball, but he loves to hit the ball, hitting .431 on the season with 7 home runs and a 1.279 OPS, which is among some of the best in the country.
And that, of course, is Kerrigan crossing with a .431 average. 44 hits. He's driven in 21. And Wright State will shift him to right up the middle. And second baseman Hunter Warren drifts over behind the bag. Around the infield, it's Patrick Foltz at third, Braden Bloomquist at short, Warren at second, Will Cook at first. Boston Smith is the catcher for Wright State. Stratton misses outside. J.P. Peltier, Gus Gregory, and Cam Gilkerson left to right in the outfield for the Raiders. Again, we'll fight some sun here for at least the opening, I would think 3 innings or so. That's a giveaway to the lights here at beautiful Prasco Park. 320 down the lines, 385 to the gaps, and 400 to straightaway center. That big batter's eye also a challenge out there to try to clear that. Anything off it is, of course, in play. And we saw the wind come into play in game one. Between the high sun and the wind, it caused Miami a little trouble in the field. Made a couple of errors that way. Stratton comes in, and Kerrigan Cross slaps it foul down the third base line.
Very aggressive 3-1 hack. Cross has had hits in 9 of his last 10 games, 7 multi-hit games, and 6 3+ hit games so far this season.
Cross the DH in the leadoff spot. Here comes Stratton, breaking pitch, and Cross lifts this ball out into short left field. J.P. Peltier takes control, and there's one down.
Yeah, Tad out in front on that one for Cross, but great job by Stratton. Falls behind 3-0, gets back in the count, and gets soft contact from one of the better and more productive hitters in the country, and now he can go forward with an out.
Second baseman Loudon Brooks coming now to the plate for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Brooks hitting .233 for the campaign. He's driven in 10. 18 strikeouts, 5 walks, 3 doubles in the mix.
.233 average isn't very impressive, but he's a veteran player, transfer from Texas Tech, and also 5 for 5 on stolen bases, so very much in line with how Jordan Bishop wants to play.
Stratton missed on his first 2 offerings. It's 2-0. Ball slapped over to the shortstop. Braden Bloomquist up with it. Over to first and Will Cook, and there's 2 down for Cincinnati in the first. Brings Landon Vitterick to the plate. Vitterick hitting .321 here in the number 3 spot. Jake Natilli, the catcher, hits 4th. Kristen Mitchell follows. And Cal Sefcik, Tommy O'Connor, Charlie Niehaus, and Donovan Ford, the center fielder, hits 9th. Ball misses outside. It's 1-0.
Vitterick, another one from the area, Hamilton, Ohio native, attended Baden High School. 2-sport star there, also a very talented quarterback.
Stratton comes in for a strike to even a count at 1-1. Working quickly from the full lineup. Ball misses outside. 2-1. Ball hammered down the first baseline. Beautiful play over there by Cook. Shuttles over to Grant Stratton and get the out. What a play by Cook to lay out on an absolute laser off the bat of Landon Vitterick. That'll end the inning, and we're scoreless after 1 here at Prasco Park.
Okay, so when it comes to prescription drugs, why don't you have a choice? Yeah, sure, you've got brand name drugs, but those can get expensive. And then there's regular generics, which are safe and effective, but may not be exactly the same as brand name. Why don't you have another option? Meet authorized generics, a unique class of generic drugs approved by the FDA, identical to the brand name, and made of the same active and inactive ingredients as the brand name. Unlike regular generics, which are manufactured by a different company and often have different inactive ingredients, which could result in a different experience. Authorized generics are identical to brand name drugs because they're made with the same exact formula, most often made in the same exact manufacturing facility to give you the same exact texture, taste, size, smell, and feel as the brand name drugs. It's all legit and always FDA approved. Look, when it comes to what you take, you deserve a choice. And you have one. Ask your pharmacist if there's an authorized generic version of your prescription today. Identical to brand name, affordable to you. AuthorizedGenerics.com.
Back at Prasco Park, Game 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic, 2 to follow tomorrow. And here's the starting lineup for Wright State. You see Hunter Warren leading off, followed by Boston Smith, Gus Gregory, J.P. Peltier, the slugger in that lineup. Patrick Foltz, Cam Gilkerson, Nate Manley, the DH, down in the 7th spot. Then Braden Bloomquist and Will Cook, who just made that fantastic play over at first base. They get Viderick for the 3rd out of the inning. And up now is Foltz to lead off the 2nd for Wright State.
Foltz not shy from showing that he's trying to do some damage. Starts really tall, but then really gets into his stance and tries to hack at it.
1-1 swung on and missed. And Marakich working quickly, coming right after this Wright State lineup. Wright State can score some runs. Ball lifted out into left field. On the run,
Wow.
making a diving play is Cal Sepsic. 1 down.
The Indiana transfer, a fellow Hoosier, Cal Sepsic, known for his pop. That's what Jordan Bishel told me before the season, that he might have the most pop on the team, but really lays out, shows great effort, basically full extension as it was tailing away from him. That's a very, very tough catch to make.
Brings Cam Gilkerson, a right fielder, to the plate with 1 down. Marakich comes in with a sweeper there. And missed for a ball. Gilkerson hitting .274 for the campaign. Slugging percentage at .526. On base at .352. He's driven in 20. 22 strikeouts against 9 walks. So some of these strikeout totals up there for Wright State. And that means you know they're aggressive at the plate. Rakic comes in for a strike, 2-1.
6 lefties in the lineup against a lefty starter.
Comes into even account at 2-2. Trying to pick up the velocity of the pitches, but the sun that's on the scoreboard to the right, and the sun is sort of precluding our view of that. But it looks like he's in the high 80s. Here comes a chopper over to third base. Good play on the run for Kristen Mitchell over to Tommy O'Connor, and there's 2 down.
That one came in at 92. Also a good play by third baseman Christian Mitchell, playing there where Carrington Cross usually plays. And if it goes to plan, Christian Mitchell might be closing this game out as a very talented 2-way player.
Here comes the catcher, Nate Manley, one of the local products in this ballgame. From Loveland, Ohio, another Moeller product. We saw Clay Burdett, a Moeller graduate, in the opener, playing for the Xavier Musketeers. Marakich comes in with a first pitch strike. Manley, .233 for the season. This was at bat number 61. He's driven in 12, walked 11 times, and struck out 20. Does have 3 home runs on the season. So some pretty good pop for Manley.
Hit .435 in 17 starts last season, so it's there. 1 hit in the last 5 games, so having a tough go of it as of late.
Marakich delivers a strike upstairs, and it's 1-1. Swing and a miss. Set down on strike, 2nd strikeout for Marakich, and that ends the 2nd inning for the Wright State Raiders. Wright State down in order. Marakich rolling right through this powerful Raider lineup. And we're scoreless through an inning and a half here at Prasco.
The stage is set for my people, yeah. Coming back like a sequel, yeah. So hot, I'm a fever, yeah. Like the white wolf, gonna make you a believer, yeah. I'm running on straight pizza, yeah. Like I'm evil, Knievel, yeah. Too fast, it's illegal. Call me the underdog, gonna make you a believer, yeah. I don't ever wanna look back. The future's blurry, but the past is a trap. I might be staring at my last chance.
Watch the 3 fight.
But I'm cold.
Bottom of the second coming your way here from beautiful Prasco Park. A little chilly here today. Temperatures in the mid-50s to start. That was for game one. I got to imagine it's going to get down, supposed to get down to 20s tonight. So it'll be a chilly evening. These two teams will have to battle those elements as well. Jack Nattilli, the catcher, leads off here for the Cincinnati Bearcats. 324 so far this season. 26 RBI, 35 hits. Nattilli standing in there on the right side. Breaking pitch from Stratton misses up. And it's 1-0. Stratton working quickly. That time gets the breaking pitch in. Even it's a count at 1-1.
Nattilli, a Rutgers transfer from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, didn't get a lot of action. So Bishop kind of took a chance on a young player looking for a new home, and so far it's paying off, especially at the catcher position, hitting .324.
Jordan Bishop in his second season with the Cincinnati Bearcats. 32 victories last season, 25 losses. They went 17-13 in conference. Ball bounces out front. Nice job there by Manley. They take that one off the chest protector. And it counts at 2-2. Stratton rips a fastball, and that one misses up and out. Until he hammers this ball down the line, and it is foul.
That either went over the foul pole or foul, because Cincinnati's third base coach is extremely confused. They might want a review on this one.
Yeah, there's a definite consensus for review.
Yeah,
and Jordan Bishop going to come out and give the headphone sign. So we'll get a review here of that last shot.
I don't know if Chatterbox has the eye in the sky technology, but.
Well, you heard the great contact off the bat. And then you just kind of look out at the reaction. J.P. Peltier kind of drifted over there. He's a left fielder for Wright State and sort of stopped short of the line. So you know you didn't have a play on it that way. And now it's whether or not it stayed inside the Chick-fil-A Eat More Chicken foul pole. Now, Keegan, I understand if a ball hits that and it's out, that's free Chick-fil-A here for the fans.
Yes, very much so.
At Prasco Park. Skyline Chili is the cuisine here tonight.
Now, does it count if it goes over the foul pole?
Yeah, it's fair, right? It's all fair.
Do we get Chick-fil-A if it's over the foul pole?
I think so. Chick-fil-A, very community friendly. All right, we'll take a quick break while this review's underway. See if Jack Nattilli launched one out of this park.
What is a Bearcat? A Bearcat is determined, resilient, curious. We show up ready to work, to play, to grow. And while a lot's changed in our 200 years, there is one defining trait that unites us all. Bearcats go big. Big discoveries, big dreams, big impact, big leaps for mankind, big miracles. And when we reach the summit, we fix our gaze on new heights. We never stop. That's just who we are. Bearcats go big.
Prasco Park and still under review. 4 umpires on hand here for game number 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. We're waiting to see if Jack Natilli may perhaps have put the Cincinnati Bearcats up 1-0 with a home run here in the second inning. Natilli's the leadoff hitter in the inning. And he launched a ball very hard and very high down the left field line.
I just don't know what camera angle you're going to get to be able to see it any differently on if it was fair or foul. I feel like you're going to need very indisputable evidence to give him a home run. But
Lyle Travis is the third base umpire, and he rolled down the line probably about halfway out into left field and then signaled it foul. So Grant Stratton continues to stay warm here for the Wright State Raiders. He's the starting pitcher.
got a verdict coming.
Marvin King coming out of the review area. Maybe that review area is heated. That's why he's back there a little while.
Foul ball.
They do call it a foul ball, and the count will be 3-2 here. So again, an evening sky, high sky. It's sometimes hard to pick up the ball when the sun is setting in these conditions.
Now, the thing to do now is to hit one out opposite field, comfortably into the stands.
So Stratton resets after a little bit of a scare at 3-2. He comes in high, and he will walk Natilli. Maybe a little poetic justice there. Natilli's going to get at least first base out of that. And now Christian Mitchell stands in. Mitchell, the third baseman, 257 for the season. He's driven in 16.
He was a finalist for the John Orrud Two-Way Player of the Year award last year. Very, very good offensive year, but maybe even better as the closer for Cincinnati.
Stratton delivers a first pitch strike, and he's ahead 0-1. Mitchell 286 with runners on base. Slugging percentage at .363. Righty on righty matchup here. Ball misses low. Long wait there for Stratton, who would work quickly through the previous batters. And a breaking pitch misses well outside. 2-1.
Good job by Boston Smith to corral that.
Breaking pitch again misses out. Count to 2-1. Stratton's a freshman from Huntington, West Virginia, in Spring Valley High School. 6'2" out there on the mound. Ball pounded into the fence in front of the Cincinnati dugout. Stratton last year at Spring Valley, actually this was through his career, 3-time first team all-conference. His teams were 40-1 in the national club scene, Canes Midwest. He holds the Spring Valley High School record for most victories by a pitcher. So, King, and I wonder if Canes Midwest is Canes chicken tenders. As we start talking about chicken. A lot of poultry on the table here in game 2. Stratton fires, ball sinks, and fouled off again. So good at bat here from Mitchell.
Branch off of the Evo Shield Canes summer ball team. Kind of like how there were 20 Midland teams at some point. There's a lot of Canes teams, but given that Stratton was such a talented player in high school, I'm assuming that was one of the more prestigious ones.
The Midland system has a lot of Redbirds in it. You could be a Cardinal, you could be a Redbird. Stratton fires, ball misses outside. A second consecutive walk here to open up the second. So the Bearcats, chance to do a little business, and Cal Sefcik stands in.
Sefcik, a lot of pop. Didn't have a great freshman season at Indiana, but came and followed his brother Luke Sefcik, and he's having a good year so far. Power numbers might not be where he wants to be there, but above 300 in the average.
333, a couple doubles, a triple, 4 home runs. This is at bat number 100. Got a chance here with runners at first and second, but Stratton can't find the strike zone. Ball up and in to Sefcik. We were talking in game one about some of the transfers from some of the community college, junior colleges, but you mentioned that teams now, or players now coming over from some of these power conferences, Indiana to Cincinnati. And that's not something we had seen in previous years. Cincinnati, of course, moving to the Big 12 has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with the volatility of the transfer portal and how much it allows people to be flexible, there's not a lot of players who are going to be willing to not play for multiple years. And even if they don't play in a year at a school, they're going to try to go somewhere else. And Cal Sefcik saw that opportunity to play at Cincinnati.
Stratton delivers, and a 1-0 misses down. So the mound visit doesn't settle Stratton down there. 2-0. Sefcik walked 18 times this season against 19 strikeouts, 33 hits. Ball outside. Manley does a nice job there to anticipate that being off target. This is actually Boston Smith at the plate. Ball misses up and out.
Yeah, not great to walk. The bases loaded with Tommy O'Connor coming up, a left on right showdown, and Tommy O'Connor, a noted power hitter who can leave the yard very, very quickly. And now it looks like Stratton isn't going to make it out of the second inning.
So 3 straight walks here for the Cincinnati Bearcats. That's after Stratton got through the first inning pretty well for Wright State. This is a mound visit. We'll see. Didn't notice any activity yet. We see a ball kind of in the air down there in the Wright State bullpen area down the right field line.
It was just Smith that went out and saw him earlier. It wasn't a coach. I got that mistaken. I thought this was their second one that they'd taken in the inning.
Marvin King, the home plate umpire, going to come out and break up that conference. And Stratton going to stay in the ball game.
We saw it last game when Nobi got out of a really, really tough jam. Stratton has the opportunity to do that.
So a freshman here up against one of the toughest hitters in the business, Tommy O'Connor, 228 for the season. He's driven in 14, 4 home runs. Doesn't have an average here with the bases loaded, and 167 with runners in position. O'Connor a chance to boost the numbers here. Give Cincinnati the lead. Ball ripped over to second. Hunter Warren over to short. They don't get the out at first on a Bloomquist turn. And home to score was Jack Natale, who just missed on that big home run opportunity down the line. So Natale does come across the score. It's 1-0 Cincinnati.
Very good hustle by O'Connor to only make it 1 out. Now you have runners on first and third with 1 out, and you get a run in. Not exactly the grand slam he probably wanted, but he'll take it, all things said.
So Mitchell the runner at third. O'Connor the runner at first. And Charlie Niehaus, the shortstop, stands in, trying to bunt it down the first baseline and guide it at foul.
Christian Mitchell was coming home on that. Kind of a safety squeeze action.
Niehaus tried to guide that down the first baseline. It's always a little bit of a challenge, more so for the right-handed hitter. Stratton resets. Niehaus tries it again, fouls it down straight in front of his foot. It's 0-2.
Two really good opportunities to get a bunt down. And I think that might be a case of him trying to be a little bit too cute and trying to get the bunt for hit instead of just getting it down and getting a run in. But with the safety squeeze, it has to be a pretty good bunt. It can't just be anything in the field of play.
So now 0-2. You expect Niehaus to try to swing away. Stratton misses outside. 1-2. Ball lifted up into the air. First base side. Will Cook ranging over and off Cook's glove. It's a tough play there. You run out of space a little quickly there down the lines, especially with that wall. There's more room back there in the dugout when that starts.
Yeah, it was almost like he thought it was going to go out and it drifted back into the field of play. He didn't really run to a spot and get there and kind of camp it all. Tried to backhand it. Very, very tough catch there. Hit off the glove.
And the sun going down right behind the third base line right now. Here's Stratton. Ball chopped to Hunter Warren. Over to Bloomquist. Over to first, and they get two to end the inning. See if they count the run. Doesn't look like they will. It'll be a 1-0 Cincinnati lead here after 2.
Okay, so when it comes to prescription drugs, why don't you have a choice? Yeah, sure, you've got brand name drugs, but those can get expensive. And then there's regular generics, which are safe and effective, but may not be exactly the same as brand name. Why don't you have another option? Meet authorized generics, a unique class of generic drugs approved by the FDA, identical to the brand name, and made of the same active and inactive ingredients as the brand name. Unlike regular generics, which are manufactured by a different company and often have different inactive ingredients, which could result in a different experience. Authorized generics are identical to brand name drugs because they're made with the same exact formula, most often made in the same exact manufacturing facility to give you the same exact texture, taste, size, smell, and feel as the brand name drugs. It's all legit and always FDA approved. Look, when it comes to what you take, you deserve a choice. And you have one. Ask your pharmacist if there's an authorized generic version of your prescription today. Identical to brand name, affordable to you. AuthorizedGenerics.com.
Top of the third here at Prasco Park. Joe Nuxhall Classic Game 2. Mike Schmaltz, Keegan Nickerson. Keegan, give him the heater, Nickerson. Is Adam Rakic back out for another inning of work?
Marakic has been carrying himself with a little bit of swagger. You saw him get the final out of that last inning and kind of walk off the field shaking his head. Been doing a lot of walks around the mound after outs, after strikeouts, so he's carrying himself very well.
Through 2 innings, he's thrown 28 pitches. That was number 29. 16 of them for strikes. He missed there with a ball. Braylon Bloomquist, the shortstop, is the hitter. 268 for the season. Swings upstairs at a high fastball. Count goes to 1-1. Bloomquist, 15 hits, driven in 10, walked 7 times, struck out 11. He's got a couple of doubles. Trying to get on and answer the Cincinnati run. Scored in the bottom of the second. 3 straight walks for Cincinnati. They cash in. Rakic comes in with a nice fastball. It's 2-1 down to Bloomquist. High fastball again, swung on and missed, and Bloomquist set down to start the Wright State third. The third strikeout for Marakic. So now here's Will Cook, the big first baseman, in with a 200 average. Struck out 23 times. He's driven in 7. Made a great play in the field back in the first inning. Rakic missed with the first. Here's the 1-0. Breaking pitch is outside.
Good movement on that. Just missed on the outside corner. Looked like he wanted it a little bit.
Will Cook, 6'6", and junior from Miamisburg, Ohio. Miamisburg High School. Ball lasered down the left field line off the screen. Solid hustle out there by Kerrigan Cross out of the Bearcat dugout. Scoop up that foul ball. Get Cook in here, 225.
Wow.
On the inside portion of the plate, nice location.
Great frame by Jack Natili as well. Very bottom of the zone, turned it over. That's textbook.
That sends the count to 2-2. Marakic works quickly. Comes in, strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning. 4th for the ball game, and Marakic locating well here for the Bearcats.
Yeah, he's shown the talent that he has. He's shown the talent that a lot of scouts think he has and that Jordan Bishop thought he had. And I think he's having a lot of fun out there. He's not really shown it a lot, but I think he's enjoying himself right now.
Brings up the leadoff hitter, Hunter Warren. Flew out to right field his first time. He takes a strike.
Change up on the outside corner, 78 miles an hour.
Marakic is getting after it right now against this Wright State team. This is upstairs, 1-1. Warren hitting .377. 31 RBI for the season. Ball misses out, 2-1. .31 RBI for your leadoff hitter. We'll tell you the bottom of the lineup producing for Wright State. Ball inside. Counts at 3-1.
If I'm Warren, I'm taking advantage of one. He was working very quickly, see if he can give me one center cut.
Ball lifted, well fouled down the first base line. So Warren stays alive. Count goes full. Ball lifted out into center field. Battling the sun out there is Donovan Ford. He'll bring it in, and that will end the inning. Wright State goes down in order in the top of the third. It's 1-0 Bearcats, and they're coming to bat when we come back.
What is a Bearcat? A Bearcat is determined, resilient, curious. We show up ready to work, to play, to grow. And while a lot's changed in our 200 years, there is one defining trait that unites us all. Bearcats go big. Big discoveries, big dreams, big impact, big leaps for mankind, big miracles. And when we reach the summit, we fix our gaze on new heights. We never stop. That's just who we are. Bearcats go big.
Max Whitesell on the pitch here for the Wright State Raiders, trailing the Cincinnati Bearcats 1-0. Second game of the Joe Nuxhall Classic here at Prasco Park. Whitesell in with a 3.97 ERA. He's got a 1-0 record. This is his 10th appearance. He hasn't made a start this season. He's gone 11 1/3 innings. 11 hits, 5 runs all earned, walked 6 and struck out 13. Opponents hitting .268 against him. Whitesell is a senior from Centerville, Ohio. 6'3", 240.
Transfer from Ohio Dominican, so making the D2 to D1 jump. As is the Cincinnati batter Donovan Ford, who transferred from Newberry, also Division II.
Ford will lead it off here for the Bearcats, the number 9 hitter. Get it back to Kerrigan Cross, the leadoff man. Next year at Ohio Dominican for Whitesell. 18 games, all relief appearances. He had a 3.1 ERA, 29 innings, 29 strikeouts. He had a 5-1 record with 2 saves. Year before that, he was 4-4 and a 6.05 average with 55 strikeouts. Saw him take a step forward in his 3rd season at Ohio Dominican last year. Ford stands in with a 247 average and takes a first pitch strike.
Interesting arm slot for White, so it's kind of a little bit laggy down the 3/4 area. Tough for pitchers to or hitters to pick up.
Little pitch from the stretch. Ball bunted down the third base line. Folt's going to get there, but he will have absolutely no play on the speedy Donovan Ford at first. Infield single to lead off the Bearcats' third.
He got down the line very, very quickly. Talked to Jordan Bishop before the season, and he said one of the things was you just knew with his tools how much he produced in his athleticism that he was going to be a good player. And he showed it early in the season at Duke, and then he shows it there on the very well executed bunt for hit. And like you said, even if Fultz fields that, had very, very little chance to get the speedy Ford out at first.
Just that ball just died in the natural turf here. So well placed, well executed by Donovan Ford to give the Bearcats a leadoff runner here in the third. Whitesell checks over.
Donovan Ford is 7 for 11 on stolen bases this year.
So a challenge here for Boston Smith, the Wright State catcher. Whitesell knows it, and he's going to check over there yet again. The line on the Wright State starter Stratton, he went 2 innings. A run it was earned, walked 3. Here's another bunt. This one is well foul, however, down the third base line. Stratton faced 8 batters through 39 pitches and 18 strikes.
I told him the line looked small, and I told him I was tempted to go get 3 cheese ponies, and he goes, "Oh, you go take it."
Kerrigan Cross awaits the 0-1. You won't get it as they check back over to first. Jordan Bishop, the head coach for Cincinnati, 5 seasons at Central Michigan, 177 and 80. He was in 3 NCAA regionals. In a 30-7 season in 2022.
He's basically won everywhere he's been at every level.
Trying to produce here in the Big 12. Swinging a miss there for Kerrigan Cross.
Really good on Whitesell to get ahead 1-2. I don't envy him in this spot, having to worry about Ford stealing a base, but you also can't just lose your focus and lay something up there to Cross.
He's going to check back over, and Ford will be back.
Ford looking for an off-speed pitch to go on here.
We consider a full set of push-ups 10, and Ford getting close over there at first. Here's Weitzel. Delivers again. Ball line to third. Bloomquist comes up with it. Ford quickly back to first. But tough luck out there for Kerrigan Cross, who hit that ball right on the barrel.
As I said in the last game, baseball can be cruel. Really well hit ball. Good reactions by the shortstop. I'd be shocked if Ford doesn't go at some point in this at bat.
So here's Loudon Brooks, 234 the season. He hits 341 with runners on base. Rounded out the short his first time back in the first. Weitzel comes in with a nice fastball, 89 miles an hour for a strike. Weitzel looks like he's working right from the center of the rubber. Out there on the mound, back over for Ford. One almost got away from Will Cook. But again, not a lot of room on the foul lines here until you get out to the bullpen area. And you got a chance to make a play, but the ball's going to come back quickly off the wall. Weitzel thought he got a strike there, but the count goes to 1-1.
Not sure where that one missed compared to the first pitch that Brooks saw, which is very quickly called a strike. Got to sit fastball if you're Brooks.
Here's the 1-1. Breaking pitch outside. Boston Smith. A little bit of a backhand there. Weitzel sets for the 2-1. I'll check over again. Donovan Ford, I believe, has reached the full set of push-ups. Weitzel quick check over. Fastball inside portion, fouled back. No play there for Boston Smith. The count evens at 2-2. Good battle here between Weitzel and Loudon Brooks, the second baseman. Brooks had 3 doubles so far this season. So it's only extra base hits. Ford back again. I think Weitzel's thrown the first more times here in this inning than he's thrown home. The 2-2. Ball misses up. Boston Smith, a quick look down there at Ford. Count goes full. Breaking pitch missed outside and a walk. First and second now with 1 down for the Bearcats.
At least now if you're Weitzel, you don't have to think as much about Donovan Ford being at second with a lefty up. Just not a great situation to steal. Now I wouldn't put it past Jordan Bishel to have one of his faster players steal third. Maybe put on a hit and run here with Lane and Viderick, but just going to be a little bit easier not having to focus on 2 things at once.
Viderick 318 for the season, 375 with runners in position. He's driven in 30. So if you are going to hit and run, this is a excellent hitter with which to do so. And he squares the bunt and takes a strike.
Third baseman's playing decently far off and in front of the bag.
It's Patrick Fultz over there. And Fultz has now come in on the infield grass.
Shortstop keeping Ford very honest.
Weitzel delivers inside. Nice pick there by Boston Smith to save a couple bases perhaps for Cincinnati. Ball inside. Boston Smith tried to frame it up around the belt. Marvin King, the home plate umpire, had none of that. The Cats at 2-1. Weitzel delivers. Breaking pitch in for a strike. Count evens at 2-2.
Vitterick was looking to do more than a hit and run on that one. He was looking to make a dent in that brick wall out in right field.
He ripped it his first time up in the first. It was a great play diving to the second base side of the bag by Will Cook down there at first. Weitzel misses low.
Another full count here that Weitzel has to deal with. This at-bat has gone by much faster without 8 pickoffs in between every pitch, but
big pitch here for Weitzel. Ball is lifted out in the center field. This is going to carry Gus Gregory all the way back short of the warning track. Tagging at second and advancing to third is Donovan Ford. Loudon Brooks will stay at first, but the Bearcats have another run 90 feet away.
it looked like a bit of an awkward catch. He kind of dropped his glove down as the ball came in. Looked like he very nearly dropped it and then handed it to his right fielder who had some momentum heading towards third base, but Ford picks it up easily now, first and third with 2 outs.
Weitzel will deal with Jack Natilli. Natilli hit that blast down the third base line last inning, and that's the one they went to review to see if it was in fact a home run. He ended up walking and scoring, and that's the only run so far for the Bearcats. Trying to deliver here. He's driven in 26 already this season. Weitzel, another important at bat here to keep the Wright State Raiders hanging around. Ball on the inside portion misses. It's 1-0. Weitzel taking a long look in. Now he'll get a visit. The pitch comm defective, so they'll switch out the unit.
If only there was a way for the catcher to signal pitches to the pitcher.
I wonder.
Didn't take so much technology.
How would you do that? Maybe you would use, say, a 1 finger for a fastball, maybe 2 for a curve.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe you like do a little dance in between every pitch. And
maybe wiggle the fingers, something for a changeup, something offbeat. It's an interesting thought, Keegan. Might have some leverage. Might have some traction in baseball. Weitzel resets, fastball. Lifted foul. It sort of takes the fun out of it in terms of stealing signs.
Yeah.
Because that was part of the gamesmanship.
It was
right?
a
You hit a
legitimate
runner at
part of
second
the
and
game.
they try to signal into you.
You had to switch it up and know what you were doing.
Here's the 1-1 on Natilli. Ball is hammered out
well-hit
into
ball.
right field. Has a chance to get to the wall. It is off the facing and right.
2.
1 run is in, and they will hold the other runner at third. Natilli is in with a double. And the Cats, Donovan Ford, gives Cincinnati a 2-0 lead.
That might have been the hardest hit ball we've seen today. Novak had a great one in the first inning for Miami over the left field fence, but that one, it almost looked like it was still going up as it hit the top right of that brick wall out there.
It's Natilli's 7th double of the season. And they're going to switch out the baseball. That was a good call there by Jordan Bishel because that ball hit off the brick facing out there, so it's scuffed, right? You can have a little extra movement on it. So Jordan Bishel popped out of the Cincinnati dugout and said, hey, Marvin King, we want a new baseball. So the runner at third, Loudon Brooks. The runner at second is Jack Natilli. Sets the table here. for Christian Mitchell. Mitchell trying to lay one down. It's foul.
Hard 90s.
Mitchell legged that ball all the way out to first base. It's the other fundamentally sound move. Never watched the baseball, right? So Whitesell resets. It's an 0-1 count. Fastball in for a strike, 0-2.
Mitchell's had a lot of success in these situations with runners in scoring position. Just getting those simple singles up the middle over the shortstop's head. Isn't exactly known to hit a bunch of home runs, but he can do some damage.
It's 317 with runners in position. Ball upstairs. That is off the glove of the catcher, Boston Smith. Runners will stay where they are. Counts at 1-2. Mitchell's walked 14 times this season. He's driven in 16. One-two from Whitesell. Breaking pitch. Nice job again by Boston Smith to keep that under control. 2-2. Bearcats already with a run across thanks to the Tilly double. Ball missed outside again. And it counts full.
He's pull yanking that off speed pretty consistently. Got to make some sort of adjustment. Your worst fear is overcompensating and then laying one up there belt high.
Cal Sefcik is set to follow. Mitchell pops one up. Chance perhaps for Smith at the screen. He's going to range back and make the play. Bearcats get one on a Jack Natilli double that scored Donovan Ford. So they cash in on a couple of hits here in the inning, and Cincinnati leads 2-0.
You get to be a champion through hard work and making smart choices. Wright State University is the smart choice for the next generation of champions. Get a world-class education that will prepare you for a terrific career. Need help to reach your goals? Student support will be with you from start to finish. We've already eliminated some hurdles with low tuition and new scholarships. Find out more at wright.edu/now. Right here, right now, Wright State.
What is a Bearcat? A Bearcat is determined, resilient, curious. We show up ready to work, to play, to grow. And while a lot's changed in our 200 years, there is one defining trait that unites us all. Bearcats go big. Big discoveries, big dreams, big impact, big leaps for mankind, big miracles. And when we reach the summit, we fix our gaze on new heights. We never stop. That's just who we are. Bearcats go big.
Back at Prasco Park for game 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Rakic back out on the mound for a 4th inning of work here for the Cincinnati Bearcats. He's faced 10 batters so far, 44 pitches, 25 strikes. He's yet to give up a hit to the Wright State Raiders. Working on a nice evening. He struck out 4 already. Has an issue to walk. Trying to break the trend here is Boston Smith, the catcher. There you see Marakic really locating well. He's got some nice speed. Good movement on the ball tonight.
Really whippy delivery, which is very hard for hitters to pick up.
Comes over the top. Sun still hasn't set here, obviously, as you can see it. But Marakic pitching out of the twilight into full shadow at home plate. It's going to be a little tricky for the hitters as well. Breaking pitches in for a strike. It's 1-1. Another strike in as Marakic continues to work efficiently here for the Bearcats. Ball swung on and missed, and he's got his 5th strikeout, 3rd straight. That one against Boston Smith, one down on the Wright State 4th.
This is about as good as you can feel as a pitcher. I didn't pitch past 13, but when you were filling up the zone and getting strikeout after strikeout, there's really, really no better feeling. And that's how Marakic is rolling right now. And it doesn't look like there's a sign that it's going to stop. And Wright State needs something to kind of interrupt his flow.
Here's Gus Gregory. He was hit by a pitch, reached in the 1st. He's really been the only base runner for Wright State so far. Marakic continues to deal. Marakic, a 6 foot, 168-pound senior. As you mentioned, Keegan came in from Central Michigan. Comes in for strike 2. Last year for Marakic at Central Michigan, he was the D1Baseball.com preseason Mid-American Conference Pitcher of the Year. Ball chopped off the front of the plate. Marakic over to make the play. Throw over to first. Gets away from Tommy O'Connor. Ball is off the wall. Digging for third is Gus Gregory. And Gregory's going to make it all the way in. He's safe. Close play over there. Kristen Mitchell's tag was pretty close. On the home plate side of the bag. But solid speed there from Gus Gregory, who just kept running. So Marakic trying to bounce one over there to Tommy O'Connor. That one got away, and now a run 90 feet away here for Wright State. Second base runner of the ball game. One down here on the Wright State 4th. Marakic settles in now against J.P. Peltier. There's that play at third, and oof.
Perfect spot for the ump.
We are shielded a bit. See if Gregory got in there. Yeah, I think he did. That foot's up in the air before any contact's made with either the knee or the shin.
Still a
Nice
stellar
angle.
throw from Landon Vitterick in right field.
Lyle Travis is the third base umpire, blocked our first shot, but nice work by our Chatterbox crew to catch that second angle. Marakic comes in with a strike. Counts at 1-2. Ball foul back. They ruled that a single in a 2-base error for Gus Gregory. So that was the first hit of the night for Wright State. Counts at 1-2 to Peltier, and he launches it down the line and foul. Stays alive on a ball inside. Peltier 336, runners in position 342. He's driven in 31. Marakic sets for the 1-2. Ball just misses. Nice job by Natilli to try to frame that up. Ball foul back. Peltier is the third Raider to receive the Horizon League Weekly Batter of the Week award. He did that on March 18th. Raiders went 3-0 in Horizon League play. They beat Oakland 3-2, 13-3, and 17-10. Ball into the dirt. Tilly's going to pick it up on the swing, and they get Peltier out at first.
Yeah.
2 down.
Marakic bouncing back. I think he thought about that no-hitter he had as he was making that play towards first. Little over-aggressive. Led to the Wright State runner getting to third. But you're starting to see it. Was it his 6th, 7th strikeout?
He is up to 6. Yes.
6 strikeouts. And as I remember, he actually signed an undrafted free agent deal with the Rangers out of Central Michigan. And something happened where he was able to play with Cincinnati. It might have been an injury of some sort. But it's not often that college players or college programs get to get players out of the pro ranks. So Marakic showing that pro ability.
Fultz is a hitter here for Wright State. Nice job by Tilly to keep that ball in front. Fultz flew out to left field his first time. You talk about Marakic coming off the mound for that play. His back was really to first base, so he didn't kind of spin, and it's always a tough throw to make.
It's all muscle memory.
And that one, yes, went wide, of course, of Tommy O'Connor. But so far, they have held Wright State off the board, and Marakic misses there, and the Cats 3-0. Marakic hasn't walked a batter yet tonight. 3-0 is on the way, and that one misses upstairs, and Patrick Fultz going to reach. So first and third with 2 down for the Raiders. Still trying to crack the scoring column here in the top of the 4th. Brings Cam Gilkerson to the plate. Gilkerson grounded out to third base back in the 2nd inning.
58 pitches for Marakic, so it's getting up there a little bit. If he can get out of this quickly, he'd be at around the 15 pitch per inning mark, which is where you want to be.
Good strike right at the belt. Takes command of this at bat. He's ahead 0-1. Ball bounces low. Tilly smoothly picks that up. Takes a little glance down there at third base to Gus Gregory. Gilkerson hits 167 with 2 down and 289 with runners in position. Good fastball there, and that was upstairs. It's 2-1. That one well out of the zone. Marakic just fell off towards the third base side, released it high.
Got to take advantage of the lefty-lefty matchup here if you're Marakic. Fill the zone, get some soft contact. Don't try to make a perfect pitch.
Gilkerson's walked 9 times this season, and he takes a ball. So 2 straight walks now. And now the base is loaded here for Wright State. Chance to do a little damage. And Nate Manley coming to the plate. Marakic going to get a visit from the Cincinnati dugout. Take a look at this effort here from Gus Gregory. So Gregory chopped one off the third base side of the mound. Marakic went out, made an errant throw to first. And you saw Gus Gregory able to beat that throw into third base. Very close play over there. That ball ricocheted off the wall behind first base and went down the right field line, which gave Gus Gregory plenty of time to try to leg it out to third. And he beats out a close play by maybe a half a foot.
Got a lot of action in the Cincinnati bullpen. People doing sprints back and forth, doing the karaoke drills, trying to get loose.
Manley fouls one down the third base line. It's behind 0-1. 2 down here in the fourth, and bases full of Raiders. Manley hits 200 with the bases loaded and a $130 with runners in position. This ball is chopped to the hole. Going to be a tough play over there for Niehaus. It gets through. Gregory will score. Coming across is Fultz from second base. And the number 8 hitter, Nate Manley, delivers a 2 RBI single. We're even at 2.
Yep, soft contact just got under the glove and trickled into left field. 2 runners easily score, and now we're tied. But now it's a response time for Marakic. How are you going to react to the 2 straight walks and the 2 runs on soft contact?
Runners at first and second, 2 across, and here's Braylon Bloomquist. Bloomquist hits 300 with runners in position this season, and 263 overall. He's driven in 10. This is the bottom of the lineup here, producing for the Raiders. And Bloomquist going to launch one into left field. That's going to get down in front of the diving Sepsic. Coming around a score from second is Cam Gilkerson. And another hit and another RBI for Wright State. They take a 3-2 lead here in the fourth.
Liner out to left. And Cal Sepsic tried to dive, but it just bounced right before his glove. Tried to kind of sell it as if they could get a catch, but he was pretty fortunate it didn't roll by him and go to the warning track.
So 2 runs across with 2 outs here for the Raiders. This ball launched out into center field by Will Cook. Ranging back is Donovan Ford. That will end the inning, but a little bingo here for the Wright State Raiders. They plate 3 on 3 hits. The big blow, Gus Gregory and Aaron Throw, makes it all the way around to 30, ends up cashing in. He's followed in by Patrick Fultz and Cam Gilkerson. And Wright State's got a 3-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Back at beautiful Prasco Park. A little bit of a chilly spring evening, but a beautiful day here for the Joe Nuxhall Classic. This is game 2. And Wright State has just scored 3 runs on 3 hits. It all started with a hustle play from Gus Gregory. So what do we say? It's a hustle kind of game, and it's also a game of inches. And watch how close this play was at third. Gregory chopped it to the third base side. Adam Marakic made an errant throw to first, and Gus Gregory just kept running, and you see him get to the outside portion of the bag before Christian Mitchell could apply the tag. There is our third base umpire, Lyle Travis.
And you
made that call.
Used their review on that foul ball, so they couldn't really review that one. I think they might have liked to, as it was pretty close. Really could have gone either way with the call in the field.
So a little bit of a shockwave there because Adam Marakic was cruising through the lineup. Sepsic going to lead it off here for the Bearcats. Lifts a ball down the right field line. Ranging over, making the play is Cam Gilkerson, and there's one down. Bring Tommy O'Connor to the plate. O'Connor reached on a fielder's choice back in the second and was out in a put out at second. He'll square the bunt and he'll take a strike. Chet Lax is the new pitcher here for Wright State. He's got a 2-1 record. He's gone 18 2/3. The ERA is at 6.75. He's the third pitcher of the evening here for the Raiders.
UC got their runs on a fielder's choice, double play attempt, and then also on one of the hardest hit balls I've seen in a while. So doing it every way possible.
Jack Natilli launched that double out into right field, and that hit the wall hard off that facing on the grandstand. 2-1 here to O'Connor. Breaking pitch swung on and missed. It's 2-2. Fastball in for a strike, and Lax comes in and knocks down Tommy O'Connor. He's got 2 quick outs here for Wright State.
Yeah, O'Connor didn't like that one. Had some words with the umpire, but caught the outside corner. Good frame by Boston Smith. Chet Lax's 2 quick outs. Here comes Charlie Niehaus.
Lax's 15th strikeout of the season. And Niehaus swinging a miss on the first offering. That one in there at 75 miles an hour. Niehaus grounded out to the shortstop, Braylon Bloomquist, to end the second inning. Lax misses low. Lax has given up 26 hits, 15 runs, 14 earned. He's only walked 11. Niehaus hammers this down the third base line. It's fair. It's going to be extra bases for Niehaus. He is in with a stand-up double, and Niehaus picks up his 6th double of the season. And the Bearcats have a runner in scoring position with 2 down.
Let's see if Donovan Ford's willing to lay down another bunt and try to hustle it out. Something in the gap could pretty easily get him to third and also score that run.
Ford singled back into third. Came around to score. The Bearcats got a run on 2 hits. They left 2 in that inning. They've left 3 so far today, as have the Wright State Raiders. So Lax, the lefty, comes in with an outside strike at 71. Ford hits .320 with 2 outs and .395 with runners on base. Hammer a ball out into the gap. Niehaus is going to come around from second to score, and the Bearcats tie it up with a solid RBI single from Donovan Ford.
Chet Lax was cruising through the first 2 batters, and then a crushing 2-out rally from the 8 and 9 hole ties it up, and that's something that'll kill some momentum. And now you have to face the top of the order and Carrington Cross and then Loudon Brooks. So big chance here for UC to get something started with 2 outs and continue, because, you know, put something in the gap and Ford can score.
Carrington Cross hits .382 with 2 outs. Lasers a ball through the gap between short and third, and it's a third straight hit actually for the Bearcats here in the inning. So momentum starting to build here with 2 down against the third pitcher of the evening, and that brings Loudon Brooks to the plate. Rock's going to rub up the baseball, trying to reset here. They get a fly out to Sefcik to open the inning. He struck out Tommy O'Connor. Then Niehaus hit the double. Ford hit the RBI single, and Cross just follows. Black's going to go back to second. Brooks hits .280 with runners in position. He has driven in 10 so far this season. Ball inside. That one's going to get away from Boston Smith, and the runners will move up. Forward to third. Cross to second. Go ahead run now 90 feet away.
And just kind of tried to handle it with his glove, dropping down to the left, and safer to just go out and get that one or drop and block, but those kind of plays happen.
Lax misses up. Hitter so far this season hitting .320 against Lax with 2 outs. Good sign here for the Bearcats, and Loudon Brooks lifts this ball on the infield. Calling for it at first base is Will Cook. He's going to haul it in, and that will end the inning. But the Bearcats get 3 hits, a big double from Charlie Niehaus. He's brought home by Donovan Ford, and the Bearcats have tied it up. We're even at 3 after 4.
Stage is set for my people, yeah. Coming back like a sequel, yeah. So hot, I'm a fever, yeah. Like the white wolf, gonna make you a believer, yeah. I'm running on straight pizza, yeah. Like I'm evil, Knievel, yeah. Too fast, it's illegal. Call me the underdog, gonna make you a believer, yeah. I don't ever wanna look back. The future's blurry, but the past is a trap. I might be staring at my last chance.
Watch the three fights.
But I'm cold-blooded. I'm cold-blooded. Ice in my veins, never gonna run. Venom on my face, fire on my tongue. I'm cold-blooded. It's all or nothing. If I go down, gonna burn with the sun. Won't quit now till I'm sitting on the throne. I'm cold-blooded.
Bearcats out of a wreckage, back out for another inning of work. So perhaps the Bearcats tying that ball game up in the bottom of the inning. Gives Marakic a little more life here. He's gone 4 innings so far, 3 hits, 3 runs. Struck out 6 and walked just 2. This will be batter number 19. He's thrown 72 pitches and 41 strikes.
Kind of figured it might be a 60 pitch limit for Marakic, but looks like they're gonna let him comfortably go past that.
It's been a somewhat easy 72. This is Hunter Warren, the leadoff hitter, and he lasers one out into right field, right to the glove of Landon Vitterick, and there's one down. That'll help you stay in the game. 1 pitch out.
The catcher, Boston Smith.
And here comes Boston Smith. Smith has been a strikeout victim twice. To Marakic. Marakic taking advantage of the lefty-on-lefty matchup. Comes in at 88 miles an hour, up and outside the zone. Sun slowly setting on the third base line. Marakic winds, fires, and comes in for a strike. 1-1. Ball misses high. Another pitch upstairs.
Marakic has been up to 92. That one came in at 87. Boston
Smith last season, All Horizon League second team Playing both in the infield and outfield. Will take a walk here and reach for the first time. And the Raiders have a base runner here in the 5th. That brings Gus Gregory back to the plate. Gregory made the hustle play. Really kind of opened up this ball game for Wright State. It was a 3-run 4th inning. Last walk was Marakic's 3rd. And Marakic comes in with a hammer at 86. Little movement on that, in for a strike. Gregory was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning, so he's been on base twice now. Watches a breaking pitch sail just wide. 1-1. Gregory hitting .364 with runners on base. Racket's going to check over to first. Ball's going to get away, and Boston Smith's going to stay put. What you want to avoid there if you're Tommy O'Connor, you see that open gate down there at the end of the bench, and if it goes in there, that is an automatic base for the base runners. It's out of play. Rackets winds, fires, misses. Breaking for second is Boston Smith, and he's safe. Smith able to advance there. Solid steal there for Boston Smith.
Really good jump for the catcher, Boston Smith. You don't often see catchers get that good of jumps on steals, but we are a sneaky athletic group, as they say.
So Natili's throw just bounces short. Pretty accurate throw. Ball in the dirt, now it's 2-2. So for Boston Smith, that was his 9th steal. On his 14th attempt, he's the steal leader for Wright State. Ball hammered to the hole. Beautiful shot, and coming around to score here is Boston Smith, and Wright State takes the lead right back 4-3. RBI single for Gus Gregory.
That's small ball working. That's Boston Smith getting a great jump and then poking one through the hole to take the lead. Now Adam Rakic has to respond.
Now J.P. Peltier stands in. And it's getting a little serious here for Wright State. This is number 4 hitter, .333 for the season, 31 RBI.
Got a catcher with catcher's gear on in the bullpen now for UC, throwing back and forth with a pitcher.
Rakic trying to pitch out of trouble. Against the toughest hitter in the Wright State lineup. And he misses outside. Now it's 2-0. For Gus Gregory, that was his 8th RBI of the season. Peltier trying to drive one down a line, swings right through it.
Hard on hard right there. Rakic going with the fastball, trying to get back in the count. Gregory trying to do some damage.
2-1. Ball lifted foul down the first base line.
Peltier trying to do some damage, pardon me.
Two, foul back. So Peltier battling here with Rakic. Already a run across here in the inning. Just one down.
Could really use a double play ball here from Rakic. It feels like every at-bat's a battle.
Ball misses. And the count's now full.
Looked outside, but the awkward catch by Natili kind of bounced around in the web a little bit. Throws the umpire off a little bit, so you're not going to get that favorable call.
Peltier into this game on a 3-game hit streak. Chops this one down to third. Christian Mitchell going to take the play at first. Runner was on the move, so no chance at a double play. Nice call by the Wright State staff. And there's 2 down.
We saw how that worked with Boston Smith. He got the old-fashioned steal. Then Gregory just takes it. Good on Mitchell, not trying to make a play to second. Probably wouldn't have been there, just going to 1 to get the out. Now with 2 outs, another chance.
Brings Patrick Fultz to the plate. Fultz walked and scored in the 4th. Flew out to left field his first time up in the 2nd. Fultz last season, All Horizons second team, 49 appearances, 47 starts, 13 doubles, a triple, hit .320. He's had a hit in 4 of his last 5. Ball into the dirt there, no chance to advance for Gus Gregory.
Hit off of Marvin King's shin. That would have been bad for UC. Jack Natili very lucky to get some help from the home plate umpire.
It's a 3-0 count. Tricky situation here for Marakic, and he misses upstairs.
That's got to be it.
That is his 2nd walk in the inning and his 4th for the ball game. And Keegan, I think you're going to be correct. And Marakic coming out. Cincinnati going to go to his 2nd pitcher of the ball game, trailing 4-3, 2 down here in the top of the 5th, and Wright State still with runners at 1st and 2nd. Take a break, be back to tell you about the new Cincinnati pitcher after this.
What is a Bearcat? A Bearcat is determined, resilient, curious. We show up ready to work, to play, to grow. And while a lot's changed in our 200 years, there is one defining trait that unites us all. Bearcats go big. Big discoveries, big dreams, big impact, big leaps for mankind, big miracles. And when we reach the summit, we fix our gaze on new heights. We never stop. That's just who we are. Bearcats go big.
Shire on in relief of Adam Marakic. Marakic just walked his 4th batter. Wright State will have runners at 1st and 2nd. Here with 2 down.
Catchers don't love when pitchers spike off-speed pitches and warm-ups.
No, that is not fun. It's really not fun at any point.
It's fun when it's right in front of you. You can really show off your blocking skills, but.
Or if you're maybe a little upset with your umpire, that works because you get out of the way and you send him a little message that way. Brandon Shire is 6'1", 197, redshirt senior. Righties from St. Patrick High School in Portland, Michigan. Transferred in from Saginaw Valley State. Played there from 2020 to 2024, 158 games for Shire. As a utility player, hit .320. He's got a good bat.
Cam Gilkerson.
And Cam Gilkerson going to be the first customer. Gilkerson walked and scored back in the 4th inning. First pitch swinging, and that ball fouled off down the third base line. Just shy of the batting circle, on deck circle. Shire's in with a 3.38 ERA. He's got a 1-0 record. He's gone 18 2/3. He does have 3 saves. Misses upstairs. Brought that in at 81 miles an hour. 13 hits so far given up by Shire. 8 runs, 7 earned. He's walked 8, struck out 16. 4 home runs and 2 doubles. The only extra base hits he's given up. Rips a fastball and it is right through the swing at Cam Gilkerson. It's 1-2. Two down here. Shire perhaps a pitch away from shutting down the threat. Strike 3 taken right at the belt for Gilkerson, and Shire comes in, picks up a huge strikeout. Wright State gets 1, but they leave 2, and the Raiders lead 4-3 after 4.5. Landon Vitter coming to the plate here for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Bottom of the 5th. Vitter's 0 for 2 today. The Bearcats are 18-5, however, when he gets a hit. Trying to get Landon on base. He's hitting .315. 34 hits, 34 runs scored. He's driven in 30. Here's a good sign for Cincinnati in that 18-5 stat. It's .478 when he leads off an inning. See what he can do here against Chet Lax, who's on for his 2nd inning of work.
Vitter is 2nd on the team in runs with 34 to Carrington Cross. So when he gets on, he tries to make something happen on the base paths. As we've talked about, he has 20 steals. He's 20 for 21 on the season.
Strike from Chet Lax.
He's really full package. I mean, you saw the arm in right field on the close play at 3rd. You see the speed with the steals, the power.
Swings through a 75-mile-an-hour offering from Lax, and it's 0-2. Widrick's one of 9 players on the Cincinnati roster from the area. He's from Hamilton. Makes him an instant Reed Mouse favorite. Went to Baton High School. Loudon Brooks, Nathan Taylor among that group of Cincinnatians playing for the Bearcats. Corey Klingenbeck, Michael Conti from Walnut Hills. Klingenbeck's from Elder. Charlie Niehaus from Moore. Lax misses, and the count goes to 2-2. Carter Earls for Cincinnati went to Middletown, Bishop Fenwick. Strike there for Lax, and that sets down Landon Vitter to open up the Cincinnati 5th. It's the first strikeout for Lax. make it his second.
Catcher Jack McTilly.
Here's Jack Natilli. Natilli hit an absolute monster shot off the facing of the right field grandstand for a double his last time up. That was back in the third inning. That scored Donovan Ford, who opened up the inning with a single. Natilli with an RBI already tonight. And that brings his season total to 27. It's a 1-1 count here. Lack sets, fires. Breaking pitch swung through at 77 miles an hour. And Chet Lax starting to gain some serious command here.
He's filling it up. A lot of confidence, a lot of tempo.
Lax tries to come inside and misses. Misses outside at 2-2, and now the count's full. Until he walked his first time up back in the second, so he's been on base twice. And that ball misses upstairs. Picks up his second walk of the ball game. First runner for Cincinnati here in the fifth. And with one down, here comes Christian Mitchell.
Good at bat for Natilli.
Christian Mitchell.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Mitchell bunt here as you see the third baseman come in.
Fultz down there at third now, playing on the infield grass. This ball chopped up to second base. It'll be a quick double play here, and that will get Wright State out of the inning. So Cincinnati gets its first base runner quickly erased. Christian Mitchell. It was Hunter Warren to Bloomquist over to Will Cook, and then the pitcher's best friend ends the inning for Chet Lax. It's a 4-3 Wright State lead.
We do have some Wright State athletics here, basketball and soccer.
Okay.
I don't remember that. Back here at Game 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. We'll have two games for you again tomorrow. Xavier Musketeers will play the winner of this second game. And then the Miami RedHawks will play the loser of this game. First game tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and then the second one scheduled for 6, just like today. Brandon Scherr back out for another inning of work here. Actually going a third of an inning, got the last out of the fifth inning for the Bearcats. His first customer here in the sixth is Nate Manley. Manley, the Boulder Crusader. Single got stranded at second back in the fourth. Struck out to end the second inning. That was against the Cincinnati starter, Adam Vitterick.
Wow.
It was Adam Rakic, actually. So he went 4 2/3. 4 hits, 4 runs, 1 earned, walked 4. Struck out 6, faced 23 batters, 94 pitches, 50 strikes.
He was pitching about as efficiently as you can and kind of just hit a wall. Walks and started missing the zone pretty consistently.
Shire. Comes in with a fastball. That one fouled off, and now it's 2-2. Breaking pitch misses out. Manley hits .526 in the leadoff spot in an inning. Shire fires. Manley launches this ball out into the gap in left center field, and it is gone.
Wow.
Nate Manley, monster shot, probably about 390 right at the Prasco Park logo. And Nate Manley drops a bomb on the Bearcats.
Had a very nasty bat flip as well, about halfway down the first baseline. That was just about to the deepest part of the yard. Very, very well hit ball for Nate Manley. As you'll see here.
So Manley puts the Wright State Raiders up 5-3. This ball well hit out into right center field from Braden Bloomquist. And that ball is off the top of the wall. Bloomquist digging for third. It'll be in easily diving. Ooh, came off the bag, but he got back in time. So Braylon Bloomquist follows the home run from Manley with a triple. The Raiders starting to show the firepower.
They're seeing Shire really well right now, as obviously advertised by the past 2 pitches that he's thrown. But I really, really like the approach by Bloomquist of, you know, this guy's just going to try to get back in the count after giving up the home run. I'm going to jump on the first pitch.
So now here's Will Cook, and Cook launches one out into center field. Drifting back is Donovan Ford. He's going to have room to make the catch, but tagging and scoring from third base is Bloomquist. Wright State's got 2 in the inning, and they lead it 6-3.
2 runs on 3 pitches and 3 batters. It's a very efficient way to do things.
So the home run from Nate Manley, that's going to sting a little bit. It was just his 4th of the season, followed by the triple from Bloomquist. And Shire comes in with a strike to the leadoff hitter, Hunter Warren. 3 balls hit pretty well there. Cook with the long out, but it got the run home. So 1 down here in the top of the lineup. Trying to continue the effort. This ball shaved down the right field line. Got a chance to stay fair, and it will. It's into the corner. Digging for second is Hunter Warren. Will be in with a stand-up double. 3 extra base hits in the inning off Shire. And Wright State coming to life here in the top of the 6th. Here comes Boston Smith. Walked and scored his last time up.
Here comes UC's pitching coach for a mound visit. Could just be some time to get the bullpen up and going because Wright State has really flipped the script very quickly here. They might not have planned on having someone ready so quickly, especially with how Shire ended the last inning. But they've jumped on it so quick that they've got to get someone up and moving, as you see in the UC bullpen right now.
Nate Manley hit his 4th home run of the season for Wright State in this inning. Bloomquist came up with his first triple of the campaign. And now Hunter Warren has followed with his 7th double. So the sun has gone down, and Wright State has opened up the offense. Little primetime showing. And down at the bottom of the lineup, 7, 8, and 9 here for Wright State. As Boston Smith looks at a first pitch ball. 7, 8, and 9 have 5 RBI here tonight for Wright State. That's Manley, Bloomquist, and Cook. They've gone a combined 4 for 8. Ball misses on a breaking pitch from Shire. Now it's 3-0. Two already across in the inning for the Raiders. Shire winds and fires, and this ball launched out into shallow left center field. Ford going to come over and make the play. There's 2 down. That brings Gus Gregory to the plate. See Donovan Ford out there. He's been a little busy this inning. Got both of the outs so far. So Gregory stands in. Hits .314 for the season. 250 with 2 down. Took a big hack at the ball upstairs, and it's 0-1. That one was at 90 in there from Shire.
Just getting out of the inning if you're Shire right now is a massive win, because for 3 or 4 batters there, it looked like they were tattooing them pretty well. He's had some close pitches on that outside corner that haven't gone his way. That's got to be a punch to the confidence, but just got to keep on going after him.
Missed there to even a count at 1-1. Ball fouled off down the third baseline by Gus Gregory. Gregory's driven in 8 so far this season. Looks at an off-speed pitch at 82. That one missed outside. 2-2. Good fastball, and that one just low. Count goes full. GP Pelletino, the 4-hitter, would follow here. Should Gregory be able to reach? Here it comes. Ball is popped up on the infield. Camping under it is Charlie Niehaus, and he makes the catch for the final out. But 3 extra base hits, a solo home run from Nate Manley, followed by a triple, then a double from Hunter Warren. Plates Braylon Bloomquist. Wright State gets 2 in the inning, and they lead by 3. Bearcats coming to bat in the bottom of the 6th.
Okay, so when it comes to prescription drugs, why don't you have a choice? Yeah, sure, you've got brand name drugs, but those can get expensive. And then there's regular generics, which are safe and effective, but may not be exactly the same as brand name. Why don't you have another option? Meet authorized generics, a unique class of generic drugs approved by the FDA, identical to the brand name, and made of the same active and inactive ingredients as the brand name. Unlike regular generics, which are manufactured by a different company and often have different inactive ingredients, which could result in a different experience. Authorized generics are identical to brand name drugs because they're made with the same exact formula, most often made in the same exact manufacturing facility to give you the same exact texture, taste, size, smell, and feel as the brand name drugs. It's all legit and always FDA approved. Look, when it comes to what you take, you deserve a choice. And you have one. Ask your pharmacist if there's an authorized generic version of your prescription today. Identical to brand name, affordable to you. AuthorizedGenerics.com.
Chet Lax back out on the hill for the Wright State Raiders. He's got a 3-run lead now to work with. 6 runs on 7 hits so far for the Wright State Raiders, and that's all happened in the last 3 innings. 3 for the Raiders in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 2nd. The Bearcats have scored 1 run in each of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings. 3 runs on 5 hits, and trying to get it started here in the bottom of the 6th.
As you saw there, Alex Sogard picked up his 200th win recently for Wright State head coach. Brother of Eric Sogard, longtime MLB journeyman and utility man.
It's good when they keep the baseball in the family. Ball misses outside from Lax. He's the 2nd coach in this field here in the Joe Nuxhall Classic to get 200. Billy O'Connor picked it up on Sunday for the Xavier Musketeers. Some nice honors for both of these teams in a baseball-rich area here in Southwest Ohio. Good strike in there from Lax. Hitter is Kyle Sefcik. Sefcik reached on a walk back in the 2nd. Now Chet Lax comes in with a strike, and now it's 3-2. Lax working quickly, ball on the outside portion. Swung on and missed, and Chet Lax picks up his 3rd strikeout. Sefcik retired to start the Cincinnati 6th.
Yeah, UC really would have liked a 4-pitch walk to start the inning, but great job by Chet Lax to battle back, put 2 pitches in the zone, and then Sefcik, I think, kind of just got into a swing attitude. He was going to swing no matter what, and got him with the low off speed.
Brings Tommy O'Connor to the plate. He struck out his last time up back in the 4th. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd. Trying to get it started here out of the 7-hole. That's off the end of the bat. Lax makes a nice play. Good throw over to first, and Will Cook scoops it out, 2 down.
I was about to say that had a chance if it got past Lax, just how slow it was rolling. But he got it quick enough, and he was able to set his feet and make an awesome throw. It wasn't even a short hop or anything. Will Cook had to stretch a little bit, but a very well-executed play. He practices his PFPs. That's about the toughest play a pitcher can make.
Yeah, that ball was spinning sideways, kind of going towards 3rd base. An odd rotation on it. Excellent play there for Lax. And brings Charlie Niehaus to the plate. He doubled and scored back in the 4th. Niehaus now hitting .284 for the campaign. .282 with 2 down. And Lax comes in and misses low. It's 2-0.
See if Niehaus can jump on something. He had the double to start the rally the last time he was up. Yep.
Niehaus laces one out into the gap, has a chance to get down, ranging over. Nice play. J.P. Peltier works with Gus Gregory. Peltier picks it up on the fly, and the Bearcats go down in order in the home half of the 6th. So through 6, Wright State leads it 6-3.
What is a Bearcat? A Bearcat is determined, resilient, curious. We show up ready to work, to play, to grow. And while a lot's changed in our 200 years, there is one defining trait that unites us all. Bearcats go big. Big discoveries, big dreams, big impact, big leaps for mankind, big miracles. And when we reach the summit, we fix our gaze on new heights. We never stop. That's just who we are. Bearcats go big.
Schultz on to pitch now for the Cincinnati Bearcats, third pitcher of the evening. Comes on with a 5.16 ERA, an 0-1 record. This is his 11th appearance. He has made a start. He's gone 22 2/3. 25 hits, 13 runs all earned, walked 4, struck out 18. Opponents hitting .281 against him. Line on Shire will close at an inning and a third. 3 hits, 2 runs, they were earned, struck out 1, faced 7 batters through 25 pitches, 14 for strikes. 3 extra base hits that Shire gave up were the sticking point. So Schultz on with a 3-run deficit. And Wright State trying to continue a hot streak of innings. 3 runs in the 4th, a run in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. They did all that on 7 hits. Oh, by the way, Keegan, they left 5 runners on base in those last 3 innings. So it might have been a little worse.
Yeah.
So top of the 7th now. J.P. Peltier stands in to lead it off. Peltier hitting .330. He has not reached yet today. Grounded out the 3rd his last time, struck out in the 4th. It was part of the back end of a double play back in the 1st inning. Tried to perhaps bunt for a hit and moved right through it. It's 1-2. Fastball swung through. Schultz, big strikeout to open up the 7th.
He's got some swagger about him so far through the first 3 to 4 pitches of the inning. You got to like this if you're a senior pitching under the lights, Joe Nuxhall Classic, Prasco Park. It's one of the nicer fields you'll play on in your career, definitely from a surface standpoint.
That brings Patrick Fultz to the plate. Swinging a high fastball, 0-1. It is hard to beat the conditions here at Prasco Park. Schultz just absolutely dealing. That's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball low in the zone, swung through. It's 0-2.
And Fultz is not being shy about his approach.
Swing and a miss there, and second strikeout here for Schultz. Picking him up and putting him down. Now here's Cam Gilkerson coming up.
Right fielder Cam Gilkerson.
Schultz down to 20 strikeouts on the season against 4 walks. Here's Cam Gilkerson. Struck out in the 5th, reached on a walk and scored in the 4th, and grounded out to third base back in the 2nd. Gilkerson into this at bat with a .268 average. And Schultz absolutely pounding the zone with fastballs. That one in at 92 to even a count at 1-1. Fastball shaved off down the third base line. This might be a little bit of trouble. Ranging over from short, taking control of the situation is Charlie Niehaus. And Rodney Schultz comes in and gets Wright State 3 straight batters, 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts in the inning. And Wright State scoreless. We're in the middle of the 7th. We'll stretch it out here at the Joe Nuxhall Classic.
You get to be a champion through hard work and making smart choices. Wright State University is the smart choice for the next generation of champions. Get a world-class education that will prepare you for a terrific career. Need help to reach your goals? Student support will be with you from start to finish. We've already eliminated some hurdles with low tuition and new scholarships. Find out more at wright.edu/now. Right here, right now, Wright State.
What is a Bearcat? A Bearcat is determined, resilient, curious. We show up ready to work, to play, to grow. And while a lot's changed in our 200 years, there is one defining trait that unites us all. Bearcats go big. Big discoveries, big dreams, big impact, big leaps for mankind, big miracles. And when we reach the summit, we fix our gaze on new heights. We never stop. That's just who we are. Bearcats go big.
Warren Hartzell on the pitch now for the Wright State Raiders, leading 6-3. The Bearcats coming to bat here in the bottom of the 7th. Hartzell on with a 4.22 ERA, a 3-0 record. His 11th appearance. He hasn't made a start. He's got a 21 1/3. 17 hits, 10 runs. They were all earned. 9 walks and 24 strikeouts. So Hartzell holding opponents to a 218 average. Comes in here trying to hold on to a 3-run lead for the Wright State Raiders.
You see no stranger to battling back after falling behind. They've done it very often this season. You saw the dugout come out and kind of meet the pitcher and the defense after that 3-up, 3-down inning from Schultz, trying to kind of infuse some life. And now very happy to see Chet Lex out of the game after how efficiently he was pitching against UC. And you kind of get a really good 9-1-2 to start with Donovan Ford and how dangerous he can be. And then you have Carrington Cross and Loudon Brooks. So there's a big chance here for UC in this inning, how things are lining up.
So Lax for Wright State, the third pitcher of the evening, went 3 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, walked 1, struck out 3, faced 12 batters through 39 pitches. 22 registered for strike, and here comes Hartzell. Warmed up, fastball right around 82 miles an hour. Another pitcher working from the stretch, and some movement there at 74 to start off Donovan Ford. For tonight, it's 2 for 2. He's got an RBI. That was back in the 4th off a single. Hartzell breaking pitch,
Very
catches the
good
outside
pitch.
corner. I say filth, you say E. Good movement there.
Ford goes from wanting a bunt for a hit to being down 0-2 very quickly.
Hartzell fires again on the outside portion. That hit the dirt. Tag made there by Boston Smith on Ford. And Hartzell's got a strikeout to start off the night for Wright State.
First sword action of the day. Really filthy pitch. Gets a really bad swing from Donovan Ford, something he wishes he could have back. Good job by Boston Smith to scoop that one up.
So Carrington Cross now on, the leadoff hitter. And Hartzell delivers on the outside portion of the plate. Carrington doesn't chase. Here comes the 1-0. Check swing. And it's called a ball.
You wonder if he'll be aggressive here or just try to see some pitches and get on base. Check it.
Ball checked again, and
I'm not going to check it. That looked close.
it's 3-0. Ball missed outside. And Carrington Cross will have a walk. No, he went back to the dugout. I don't know if they called that a strike or not.
It looks like he was saying something to Loudon Brooks or Landon Viderick, kind of giving advice about the pitcher.
Hey, guys, I'm going to be at first base. Feel free to score me because we need a couple of runs here. This is Loudon Brooks. Brooks takes the first pitch fastball at 83. Only time Brooks has reached here was back in the 3rd. Walked, got stranded at 3rd. Warren Hartzell delivers another pitch with some serious movement on it. Outside corner of the plate, swung on and missed. It's 0-2. Swing and a miss. And Hartzell's got his second strikeout of the inning.
Did not mess around on that one. Got to 0-2 and then just came straight with a fastball. And now he's really pumped up, punching the side of his head. He wants this out really, really bad. He knows how dangerous Viderick can be, especially with the runner on first. This would be a huge out to get to the 8th, up 3 runs.
Viderick, the right fielder, struck out his last time. He flew out to center field in the 3rd. Hit a hard shot to Will Cook in the 1st inning. Cook was able to dive and come up with and make the out. Hartzell comes right in for a strike on the first offering. It's 0-1. Breaking pitch. Viderick offered a bunt, then pulled it back, and it was called a ball. Breaking pitch drops in for a strike there. Viderick doesn't offer. 1-2.
I'm assuming his goal was to actually bunt there, but if you're not fully committed to bunt, I don't see why you're kind of showing the bat in that situation.
1-2. Ball misses well up and out at 90. Two down, 1 on for the Bearcats. Here in the 7th, they trail by 3. Breaking pitch inside, and
wow.
Boston Smith thought he had a strikeout.
That looked like it was in there. Could be a bit of a ball don't lie moment here. 3-2, runner on first will be moving.
Warren Hartzell battling on the mound here for the Raiders. He'll step off. Big 3-2 coming up.
Wright States like to go out of the zone in these situations, trying to catch UC in an automatic swing mode.
Hartzell's shown some serious movement on his breaking stuff. See what he comes back with here. Fastball over to first base. Cook picks it up on a big hop, makes the put out, and the Bearcats get a runner, but strand him here in the 7th. Warren Hartzell coming in with 2 strikeouts in the inning. Bearcats go scoreless. It's 6-3. We head to the top of the 8th. The Wright State Raiders on top.
Stage is set for my people, yeah. Coming back like a sequel, yeah. So hot, I'm a fever, yeah. Like the white wolf, gonna make you a believer, yeah. I'm running out straight pizza, yeah. Like I'm evil, Knievel, yeah. Too fast, it's illegal. Call me the underdog, gonna make you a believer, yeah. I don't ever wanna look back. The future's blurry, but the past is a trap. I might be staring at my last chance.
Watch the 3 fights.
But I'm cold.
Back at Prasco Park, under the lights here as we get down to the final innings between the Cincinnati Bearcats and Wright State Raiders. Wright State leading 6-3. And back out to pitch, a very confident Rodney Schultz, who came off the field to chance of Rodney from his dugout. After Schultz struck out 2.
Top of the 8th for the Raiders.
in the 7th against the Raiders. Nate Manley going to be the first customer here. He is having a very solid night. Solo home run his last time up in the 6th. He singled back in the 4th. Only time he didn't reach was a strikeout in the 2nd.
The margin for error is basically non-existent here for Schultz. You do not want to get down 4 runs. The difference between 3 and 4 in baseball is pretty wide, all things considered.
This is the bottom of the lineup here. The last 3 hitters in the lineup have gone 4 for 8 tonight. And Manley launches one out, a long out, blending into the dark wall out there was the center fielder to make the play. So they give that put out to Viderick over there and right. Bearcats out there with the full black uniforms now blending into the padding on the wall. Looks like a military night operation out there once they get back to the warning track. So long out there for Manley. One down here for Braylon Bloomquist.
Ooh.
Ball gets through, and that one got the home plate umpire, Marvin King.
Natili does the right thing as a catcher, tries to give him some time,
Yes,
but
sir.
sometimes they don't want it. They're like, I'm fine, I'm a man.
That's very reciprocal.
Get back here.
And that's a good opportunity to get out there and brush the plate off.
Yeah.
Buy yourself some time, which you can't do on the artificial surface. That's hard to do. They know what you're doing there.
The pellets will
There
get
are
on there
pellets.
every now
I'll
and
give
then.
you that. Schultz is falling behind 2-0. Make it 3-0. And that ball may have hit Bloomquist. Either way, it's back to the screen. I don't know if they called that a foul ball. Well, it wouldn't have been a foul ball, so it hit something on the way back.
It either hit a knob or his elbow.
So Bloomquist reaches, and they will officially call that a walk. So 1 on, 1 down for Will Cook, the first baseman. Cook flew out to right field. Back in the 6th, but he got an RBI on a sacrifice. Ball misses it. Schultz from the stretch. 92 outside the zone. Schultz has thrown 18 pitches so far. This is his 6th hitter. And he's going to get a visit here. Trying to look down the line. There is a little activity down the left field line in the Bearcat bullpen.
It's the rare middle of the at-bat mound visit.
Three-run deficit here for the Cincinnati Bearcats. And as you mentioned, Keegan, not a lot of room for error here. Bearcats will have 2 more shots at the plate. Marvin King out to break up the conference. Good long conversation there with Rodney Schultz, gives the bullpen some time. Counts at 2-0. Here to Will Cook, the first baseman. Schultz checks over to first to Bloomquist. Pitch misses inside. One down. Here in the Wright State 8th. Schultz delivers good. Fastball in for a strike. 3-1. Cook taking all the way. Ball swung on, and that caught a good piece of Jack Natilli behind the plate. So Natilli going to need a little extra time. So now we've seen home plate umpire Marvin King take a shot. Now Natilli takes one off the shoulder. Count will be at 3-2 when Cook comes back to re-engage. Take a look at it there, and you see Natilli. I don't know if he maybe caught that on the forearm, maybe the hand. 3-2 on the way. And he walked him. Second straight walk. Now runners at first and second with one down. Wright State has scored in 3 in the last 4 innings. Now they're back to the top of the lineup, and Hunter Warren. Warren double back in the 6th. It's the only time he's reached so far today. This will be his first look here at Rodney Schultz. Schultz cruised through the 7th, 2 strikeouts and a flyout. Now running into his first spot of trouble. Breaking pitch comes in for a nice strike on the first offering. It's 0-1. Hunter Warren in with a .376 average, 31 RBI on the season. Ball shaved off, launched foul, down the first base line. 0-2.
Schultz would love a double play right about now.
Two on the way, hard fastball. This one chopped, could be a little bit of trouble, and Bearcats aren't going to be able to come up with it. Niehaus had a shot at it. Kristen Mitchell was over there as well, and that ball just hit slow enough to really not give Niehaus much of a chance. That'll be an infield single. Now the bases are full. And Boston Smith coming to the plate. We've seen a couple of tough luck balls here hit against the Bearcats. Sort of the changeup off the bat, if you will, and again on this grass, that slows the ball up quite a bit on those slow chopping rollers. This ball ripped out into left field. Charging over is Sefcik at the line, and he can't make the play. Coming home to score is Bloomquist, and the bases will stay full. So another tough chance there for the Bearcats as Boston Smith launched one high down the left field line.
Looked like he pretty much overran it a little bit. Thought it might have been tailing more towards the line. Yeah, really, really tough looking play. Runners go one base, so you basically just don't get the out in the situation because he was likely going to score anyway. So
now 7-3, bases still full. They called that an error on Cal Sefcik. And Schultz now comes in high and outside. It's 1-0. This is Gus Gregory. He caused a little chaos back in the 4th. On a chopper that was overthrown at first, and he made it all the way around to third. Gregory's going to deliver an RBI into left field. Coming across to score is Will Cook, and now it's 8-3.
Wright State blowing it open now. Got to think UC's going to make a change, and here comes Jordan Bishel to do just that.
Gus Gregory 3 for 3 tonight. So Wright State working on a 2-run inning here in the top of the 8th, and they will chase Schultz from the ball game. Rodney Schultz coming out. We'll tell you about the new Bearcat pitcher when we come back.
Okay, so when it comes to prescription drugs, why don't you have a choice? Yeah, sure, you've got brand name drugs, but those can get expensive. And then there's regular generics, which are safe and effective, but may not be exactly the same as brand name. Why don't you have another option? Meet authorized generics, a unique class of generic drugs approved by the FDA, identical to the brand name, and made of the same active and inactive ingredients as the brand name. Unlike regular generics, which are manufactured by a different company and often have different inactive ingredients, which could result in a different experience. Authorized generics are identical to brand name drugs because they're made with the same exact formula, most often made in the same exact manufacturing facility to give you the same exact texture, taste, size, smell, and feel as the brand name drugs. It's all legit and always FDA approved. Look, when it comes to what you take, you deserve a choice. And you have one. Ask your pharmacist if there's an authorized generic version of your prescription today. Identical to brand name, affordable to you. AuthorizedGenerics.com.
Brendan Oliver trying to hold off this Wright State attack. Bases loaded. One out here in the top of the eighth. Wright State's already plated two. And Brendan Oliver coming on to try to hold it down here. Oliver's on with an 11.57 ERA. This is his sixth appearance. He's gone 9 1/3 innings. 10 hits, 12 runs, all earned. He's walked 4, struck out 14, and opponents hitting .270 against him. Brendan is a freshman righty from Mooresville, Indiana, 6'3", 192. Looking in this Wright State attack through 29 games, averaged 7.8 runs per game, and they've got 8 tonight. So it can be explosive at times for the Raiders.
Law of averages working out there. Hope the team over was at about 8.
So 8 runs in the last 4 innings now for Wright State. And they've still got 2 outs to work with here, and the bases loaded. Oh, and by the way, the number 4 hitter steps to the plate. It's J.P. Peltier, who's driven in 31 and has 10 home runs on the season. So a tough spot here for Brendan Oliver. See what he can do with it, but a ground ball and a double play will get Cincinnati right back to the dugout. Comes in with an 87-mile-an-hour strike, 0-1. Peltier yet to reach tonight. 2 strikeouts, a ground out to third. He's on the back end of a 1-4-3. Peltier swings and misses. Fouls it off. And it's 0-2.
A little over-aggressive in that one. Now he finds himself in a hole. Just give yourself another fly ball, get a run in.
Breaking pitch swung on and missed. Beautiful at bat there from Brendan Oliver to get the number 4 hitter. And Peltier set down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight.
I love when pitchers make hitters look pretty bad in a certain pitch, and this time it's Oliver with the off speed for the 2nd strike. And then Oliver just says, you know what, I'm just going to go back to the same pitch in the same spot. Got the swing and miss, now with 2 outs.
Here's Patrick Fultz, the 3rd baseman. Ball sent back. That one ricocheted off Jack Natilli. Winner in tonight's game gets the Xavier Musketeers tomorrow at 6. The loser will get the Miami RedHawks at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Day 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Thanks for joining us all afternoon on Chatterbox Sports.
Fultz hitting 143 with the bases loaded. It seems like with his approach, you're kind of just waiting for him to make really solid contact.
He's got a 1-1 count here against Oliver. Delivers inside to Tilly. Great job to block that ball out in front of the plate. Oliver going to change out the ball. Little reset here at 2-1. Fultz hitting .227 with 2 outs, but 143 with the bases loaded so far this season. Fouls off a fastball upstairs at 89. He was behind it. Fultz does hit .273 with runners in position. And he's driven in 18 so far. Two. Ball is slapped down the first base line, and it can't make the play. Oliver overran it. Coming home to score was Hunter Warren. It's 9-3.
It's a really tough play to try to decide what to do. Your first instinct in that situation is to try to let it go foul, but it didn't look like it wanted to. And then the next best thing would be pick it up and tag them. But miscommunication between Oliver and first baseman Tommy O'Connell, and Wright State gets another run, and now they're kind of blowing this thing open.
3 runs across here. Oh, by the way, base is still full, and they'll call that a single there for Fultz on the infield. So 9 runs on 10 hits now for Wright State. And Brendan Oliver misses with a first offering for a ball. Second offering on the outside portion of the plate. And now it's 2-0. That one in there at 90. Ball chopped to second base. Loudon Brooks up with it, and that will end the inning. But Wright State gets 3 runs across to take a 9-3 lead. Cincinnati coming to bat with some work to do in the bottom of the 8th.
You get to be a champion through hard work and making smart choices. Wright State University is the smart choice for the next generation of champions. Get a world-class education that will prepare you for a terrific career. Need help to reach your goals? Student support will be with you from start to finish. We've already eliminated some hurdles with low tuition and new scholarships. Find out more at wright.edu/now. Right here, right now. Wright State.
What is a Bearcat? A Bearcat is determined, resilient, curious. We show up ready to work, to play, to grow. And while a lot's changed in our 200 years, there is one defining trait that unites us all. Bearcats go big. Big discoveries, big dreams, big impact, big leaps for mankind, big miracles. And when we reach the summit, we fix our gaze on new heights. We never stop. That's just who we are. Bearcats go big.
Back at Prasco Park, Game 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Mike Schmaltz, all gas, Keegan Nickerson here with you tonight. Saw a good Game 1. Xavier Musketeers pull out a victory over Miami. And now Wright State with a huge advantage here on the Cincinnati Bearcats. Wright State 3 runs in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and now 3 in the top of the 8th. Bearcats haven't scored since the 4th inning. They scored in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 1 run apiece. It's 3 runs on 5 hits so far for the Bearcats. A couple of errors. 6 left on base. It's 9 run, 10 hits here for Wright State. No errors, and they've left 9. But the defense of Cincinnati, some of those hits for Wright State have been just some tough luck chances. Some balls that were hit somewhat slowly or at the very right speed that Cincinnati was just unable to make some plays on. So here comes Warren Hartzell. Delivers inside to the Cincinnati catcher, Jack Natilli. Natilli's walked twice and doubled tonight. Breaking pitch, outside portion, evens the count at 1-1.
big credit to Lax and Hartzell for how they've gone about pitching, because they've been filling up the zone. They've both run into some trouble, but they've been able to get through it with relative ease and not have it snowball as you've seen it happen for UC.
Hartzell misses a ball. It's 2-1. Breaking pitch. It's off the glove of the catcher, Boston Smith. There's a ball upstairs. It's 3-1. So Natilli a chance to just get a runner on here in the 8th. Cincinnati with 6 outs left. Hartzell winds, fires, and he's walked Natilli to open up the Bearcat 8th.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yes, it does.
Third baseman, Christian Mitchell.
So here's Christian Mitchell. Mitchell hit into a double play back into 5th. He walked, got stranded at 3rd, back into 2nd in with a .252 average to this at bat. He's 2-1 so far. Make it .276 with runners on base. Check swing. Foul to the Wright State dugout. It's 0-1. Last walk for Hartzell was just his 2nd. He struck out 2. Check over to first. Long look in at Boston Smith. Breaking pitch is pounded down to 3rd. Great play over there by Fultz. They try to double up over at first, and back quickly is Natilli. That ball was caught on a line. I thought it touched the ground, but check out the great play down there by Fultz.
Really good play. And almost doubles him up if he can make a good throw. And luckily for Wright State, it doesn't go up the line. It bounces off the wall hard. So Natilli can't get 2nd. But we've seen the lineouts for UC. We've seen the soft hits for Wright State. So
a tough luck first out here for Cincinnati in the 8th. Ball chopped to 3rd. Another chance for Fultz. He's going to 1st. Good scoop over there by Will Cook, and there's 2 down.
He wasn't going to make a bad throw 2 in a row.
Throw does allow Natilli to advance to 2nd, so runner in position here for the Bearcats. And Tommy O'Connor coming to the plate.
First baseman, Tommy O'Connor.
O'Connor trying to reach for the first time tonight. Couple of ground outs and a strikeout.
I like how Hartzell every now and then pounds his chest, pounds the side of his head. I don't know if it's to get some adrenaline, just to recenter himself in between pitches.
He's got 2 down, and a breaking pitch is swung out and missed. He's ahead 0-1 here to O'Connor. O'Connor hits .227 with 2 outs and .161 with runners in position so far this season. This is at bat number 118. Hartzell breaking pitch lifted back of 2nd base. Braylon Bloomquist is under it, and the Bearcats retired here, so they get a leadoff runner, get a tough out against Christian Mitchell on a hard hit ball to 3rd. And a pop-up ends the inning for the Bearcats. Bearcats will have one more shot at the plate. They trailed 9. Back at the Joe Nuxhall Classic, Prasco Park, Mason, Ohio. Wright State with a 9-3 lead as we head to the top of the ninth. Brendan Oliver back out for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Trying to keep Wright State off the board. They have scored runs in 4 of the last 5 innings. 2 3-run innings in that stretch. 9 runs on 10 hits for Wright State so far tonight. Team that came into this 2-day event averaging 8 runs a ball game, and they've got one better than that so far here tonight. And coming to the plate, Nate Manley. He has been a tough out here tonight. Single in the 4th, solo home run in the 6th. And Manley playing in front of his hometown crowd, former Moeller Crusader. See if Wright State can play a little add-on here in the top of the 9th. Oh,
that hurts. Manley
caught that ball off the back of the helmet. It sounded like that one came in there at 77. And Manley's going to reach, but glad he's going to be okay there.
I thought it looked like it hit him in the back of the shoulder blades, like right in between your shoulder blades, but I think I heard the helmet and he took it off and he shook his head around, so should be a good view here. Oh,
took
right
it off
in
the ear hole.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That's not fun.
So Manley down at first. Now he's going to get a little visit from the coaching staff. They're going to make sure he's absolutely lucid down there at first base. So Manley able to stay in the game. Sends it to Braylon Bloomquist. Bloomquist squares the bunt, pulls it back. Manley going to break for second, and he's in safely.
Showing bunt up 6. That is some aggressive offense for Wright State. Discombobulates Natili and then takes second.
So now a runner in position for Bloomquist. Bloomquist sends his ball up the middle, ricocheted off the glove of Brendan Oliver, and Manley going to come around to score. It is 10-3, RBI single for Braylon Bloomquist.
Much respect to Wright State. We've seen it multiple times how the small plays can lead to runs. We've seen the steals, the advancing to second on ground balls, and that ball getting away from the catcher, getting to second, and then you score on the next pitch on a simple single up the middle. So they've had the home runs, they've had the long hits, but they've also had the small ball to manufacture runs.
Yeah, 11 hits, 3 of them extra bases, a triple, a home run, and a double. And breaking for second is Bloomquist, and he's going to be out. They get him. Good throw there by Natili for the first out.
Looked like he slid off the bag, and very good job by Niehaus to keep the glove on him. They're going to review it.
So we'll go back and take a look at this. Straight steal attempt there from Braylon Bloomquist. Umpires will huddle here just inside third base. Marvin King, the home plate umpire. David Blanchett at first. Ben Levin out there at second, and Lyle Travis at third.
They're going to go look at it.
So it's a 10-3 lead here for the Wright State Raiders, and we'll take a look at a potential stolen base here for Braylon Bloomquist. We'll take a quick break, come back, see the decision here from our umpiring crew. It's 10-3 Wright State.
I'm going to steal a Ross.
What is a Bearcat? A Bearcat is determined, resilient, curious. We show up ready to work, to play, to grow. And while a lot's changed in our 200 years, There is one defining trait that unites us all. Bearcats go big. Big discoveries, big dreams, big impact, big leaps for mankind, big miracles. And when we reach the summit, we fix our gaze on new heights. We never stop. That's just who we are. Bearcats go big.
Ruled out at second, and here comes the first baseman, Will Cook. So one down here in the Wright State ninth. Ball misses in. Will Cook reached his last time in the eighth.
Yeah. They actually reviewed that. Wow, okay. Pretty clearly slid off the bag and then got the glove in between the cleat and the bag. So pretty easy out, which is why the review was not very, very long.
Brendan Oliver has the count to 3-1 and misses upstairs. So a walk for the second runner of the inning for Wright State. One down, one in, and we go back to the top of the lineup in Hunter Warren. Warren singled and scored his last time. He doubled back in the sixth. Just 3 of the 11 hits tonight for extra bases for Wright State. Warren getting his first look at Brendan Oliver. And Oliver going to check over to first. This is Oliver's 7th batter. He's thrown 19 pitches so far. From the stretch, delivers inside. Ball one. That one tight there on Hunter Warren. Brendan Oliver resets. Warren hitting .381 for the season, 31 RBI.
Looks like he did.
He did go. And it's 1-1. Back over the first and in safely is Will Cook. Neither team taking anything for granted here. Wright State with the 7-run lead reviewed the stolen base attempt. Now, Brendan Oliver paying significant attention to Will Cook over there at first. Hunter Warren trying to deliver his 3rd straight hit here for Wright State. Breaking pitch, and that's taking a strike. 1-2. Ball misses out. Count evens at 2-2. Brendan Oliver, the Cincinnati freshman, checks back over. Hunter Warren will be followed by Boston Smith. Trying to get it to Gus Gregory down there in the 3-hole. Ball lasered foul into the Bearcat dugout. .916 getting colder by the minute on a night supposed to reach the 20s. This game started in some twilight sunshine. Little hit and run here. Good play in a hole from Niehaus. He will take the out at first. Cook able to advance to second. 2 down.
Catcher, Boston Smith.
Good job by Oliver. Kind of working around the pick-off attempts and not losing focus on the batter, getting some soft contact.
So now the hitter's Boston Smith, the catcher. Reached on an error his last time. Flew out to center field back in the 6th. Walked, stole a base, and scored in the 5th. Swing and a miss. That one in at 81 miles an hour. It's 0-1. One across already in the inning. Wright State trying to make it an 8-run lead. Doesn't offer. Ball misses outside, 1-1.
Looked like a pretty good pitch. Looked like a changeup, but just misses.
Oliver delivers, and that one misses low. 2-1. Wright State not going away timid here. Hanging in on every bat. Ball misses out. Count goes to 3-1. Oliver's walked one, struck out one. This is his 8th batter, and he's about to throw pitch number 30. Ball misses low. Second walk of the inning. And Wright State stays alive. Now runners at first and second. Here comes Gus Gregory.
It's about to get to the point where UC's coaching staff's just going to say, okay, who can we get in here to just get us out? And just get this game over with.
Gus Gregory has 3 hits tonight. He was hit by a pitch. He scored a run. And he's got an RBI. The next pitcher coming on here for the Cincinnati Bearcats. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back to tell you about him. First and second here for Wright State. It's 10-3.
You get to be a champion through hard work and making smart choices. Wright State University is the smart choice for the next generation of champions. Get a world-class education that will prepare you for a terrific career. Need help to reach your goals? Student support will be with you from start to finish. We've already eliminated some hurdles with low tuition and new scholarships. Find out more at wright.edu/now. Right here, right now, Wright State.
What is a Bearcat? A Bearcat is determined, resilient, curious. We show up ready to work, to play, to grow. And while a lot's changed in our 200 years, there is one defining trait that unites us all. Bearcats go big. Big discoveries, big dreams, big impact, big leaps for mankind, big miracles. And when we reach the summit, we fix our gaze on new heights. We never stop. That's just who we are. Bearcats go big.
Back at beautiful Prasco Park, chilly night, chilly conclusion here to this Game 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Primetime under the lights here. It's been a primetime performance so far for the Wright State Raiders. 10 runs on 11 hits. And Keegan Allen comes on to pitch here for the Bearcats. A junior righty from Rogers, Arkansas. transfer in from West Virginia. And Keegan Allen making his first appearance of the season here for the Bearcats.
Oklahoma and West Virginia, so he's just making his way around the Big 12. Oklahoma in the SEC now, but when he was on Oklahoma, they were in the Big 12.
It's a pretty good tour.
Yeah.
So Keegan Allen on to try to hold down this Wright State team that just keeps digging. Oliver went an inning and a third. 2 runners on base, still his responsibility. So we'll see what Keegan Allen can do here. Allen's 5'11", 190. Comes in with runners at first and second, 2 down. Hitter here is Gus Gregory.
90 on the fastball to start.
That'll keep you in business around the Big 12. First pitch strike. Gregory last time hit one to the gap between Kristen Mitchell at third and Charlie Niehaus at short. That got him his second RBI of the night. Ball misses upstairs. Well, Gus Gregory, who now has 9 RBI, 2 in this ball game. This is one of those box scores that you print off and you put in a frame and you say, hey, I had a pretty good night at the Joe Nuxhall Classic. 2-1 is on the way. Swung on and missed. That one 91. And right down the center of the plate. Keegan Allen coming in, throwing hammers. It's got the count to 2-2. 2 down here, 2 on for Wright State. And fastball misses out, 92. Full count here to Gus Gregory. Ball lifted out into left field. Sefcik's got a beat on it, pulls it in for the final out. Wright State gets 1, they leave 2. It's 10-3, Bearcats coming about in the bottom of the 9th. Mike Schmaltz and Keegan Nickerson back here at beautiful Prasco Park. Game 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Been a tough night so far for the Cincinnati Bearcats, but trying to rally here in the bottom of the 9th. Trailing 10-3 to the Wright State Raiders. 10 runs, 11 hits for Wright State tonight. They've left 11, amazingly. And Cincinnati 3 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors, and they've left 7.
Looks like Dawson Hokuff is going to pinch hit for Charlie Niehaus.
Hokuff is a redshirt senior, first baseman and a catcher. 6'4", 218. He's from Edmond, Oklahoma. Transfer in from Lindenwood by way of LA Harbor Community College. Hookup hitting .255 for the campaign. This is his 52nd at bat. He hits .400 when he leads off an inning. He's in against Warren Hartzell, who was on for his third inning of work, and Hartzell comes in with the first pitch strike. Hookup has 13 hits, 5 RBI. He's walked 11 times and struck out 13, a couple of doubles in the mix. Hartzell came in for a strike on the second offering. It's 0-2. Breaking pitch, taking a strike, and Hartzell shuts down Hookup to open up the 9th inning.
That was a big bender. A lot of movement on that one. Great pitch.
So Hartzell racks up a strikeout to open up the bottom of the 9th here against Cincinnati. Third strikeout of the night for Hartzell. This is Donovan Ford. Ford takes a strike. 0-1. Ford struck out in the 7th. RBI single in the 4th and had a single in the 3rd. Breaking pitch misses either inside or high, and the count goes to 1-1. Hartzell with a big cushion, just trying to throw strikes to contact. Ball misses out. Or non-contact. I mean, he has struck out 3. Hartzell winds, fires. Good breaking pitch, in for a strike. Man, that is some tight rotation, and it is low in the zone. That is some wicked stuff from Hartzell.
A lot of 12-6 movement on the curve, too.
Donovan Ford says, okay, I see you. Here comes the 2-2. Ball is chopped to the shortstop. Bloomquist up over. Good scoop again from Will Cook, and they just get Donovan Ford over at first, 2 down.
Great presence of mind by Bloomquist. He had to go to his right and backhand it, and he knew he didn't have any time to do a double pump or any time to waste, knowing Ford's speed. Got rid of it as quick as possible. Great throw. Also a great scoop by Will Cook, and now Wright State is an out away from a very impressive win here over the Bearcats.
Final out here for Cincinnati. It is Carrington Cross, first pitch swinging, foul back. Cross singled in the 4th, walked in the 7th, and a couple of flyouts in the 1st and the 3rd. Cross in with the .429 average. Hunter Warren, the second baseman, playing right behind the mound up the middle. Ball fouled off. It's 0-2. So Hartzell taps himself on the side of the head yet again. Trying to gear up here for what could be a final strike. Hartzell fires, inside fastball fouled back. Still 0-2. Carrington Cross continuing to battle. Hartzell sets, breaking pitch tipped. Carrington Cross, a little frustration there. Count stays at 0-2. Warren Hartzell trying to finish it off here. Oh, 2 again. Outside portion missed. 1-2. Good discipline there by Carrington Cross not to chase. Here comes the 1-2. That hit him. So Cross gets plucked and he'll reach.
Now he's in some pain, and you never want to see that in this kind of game. Down 7, your best player. Nevertheless, does a hard 90.
Shakes that off. Gets down to first base on a sprint.
Yeah, those elbow shots really hurt.
Especially on a night like tonight when it's just a little bit more stingy out there.
Corey Klingenbeck now pinch hitting for Loudon Brooks.
Klingenbeck for the Bearcats, redshirt senior, listed as a catcher. 5'10", 195. From Cincinnati Elder High School, he transfers in from Walters State. And Hartzell resets, trying to get the final out here. Breaking pitch in for a strike. 0-1. So Hartzell's gotten ahead. The last 2 hitters, he was ahead across and then ends up hitting him. Ahead 0-1 here to the pinch hitter Klingenbeck. Breaking for second is Cross. He'll be in there safely. Bearcats with the runner in position. Klingenbeck hitting for Loudon Brooks here in the second spot. Breaking pitch in for a strike, and that will end the ball game. Warren Hartzell comes on and pitches 3 scoreless innings for Wright State. Wright State opens up the offense here in game 2. 10 runs on 11 hits. They left 11. Wright State scored 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 3 in the 8th, and 1 in the 9th. The Bearcats scored their runs in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Bearcats, and tough night all around for Cincinnati, but they ran into some solid pitching, and that Wright State offense that averaged 8 runs a game coming into this contest here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, as I mentioned it on the pregame show, teams like Wright State really relish in the opportunity to play teams like Cincinnati. You know, they're not expected to win. They're the smaller school, less resources. On paper, they're not supposed to have better players, but they really came out. They were aggressive, and they put up a 10 spot on one of the top half teams in the Big 12, and that's something they can write home about and carry with themselves. And again, credit to Lax and Hartzell, the relief pitchers for Wright State, just like we saw in the Xavier and Miami game. They had guys come in and throw strikes and get out of jams, and they didn't let anything snowball, and it was the opposite for Cincinnati. Walks turned into errors, turned into situational hitting for Wright State, and ultimately you see the 10-3 final.
The bottom of the lineup here for the Wright State Raiders tonight goes 5 for 10. They score 5 runs, and they knock in 6. So great production there for Wright State in the 7, 8, and 9 spots. They take the victory, and they will play the Xavier Musketeers for the 2nd time in a week tomorrow at 6. And Cincinnati going to take on Miami in our first game tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So that'll wrap it up for us here from Chatterbox Sports. Thanks for watching. For Keegan Nickerson, I'm Mike Schmaltz. For our Chatterbox crew, was on hand all day, out early in the morning, sitting up in the cold. They'll finish up in the cold. We'll see you back tomorrow, 2 o'clock, for the Miami RedHawks and Cincinnati Bearcats.